killing Sterling. John McLendon, Salamoni's lawyer, said he appealed to the Municipal Fire and Police Civil Service Board, which oversees personnel issues with the police department. The appeal says the termination was not made in good faith and for cause, and calls for a public hearing. The Civil Service Board is comprised of 3 civilians, a representative of the police department, and a representative from the fire department. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Well, folks, look who came crawling back to Pennington.
That's right, Jeff Statsky. Just 4 years after leaving town to make it as a songwriter and musician on the East Coast, Mr. Hot himself, Jeff Statsky, has returned. Locals are simply stunned that Mr. Ambition himself would deign to move back to Pennington, the town he once said, quote, wasn't big enough for his music. Tuffy's Bar is even planning a welcome home party for the would-be Bob Dylan.
We got a nice cushioned stool for his precious little East Coast ass.
Hey, Jeffy boy, we got the radio on. We're still waiting to hear that big song of yours. Where is it?
Local business owners say Statsky might have just as hard a time finding work here in Pennington as he did when he was trying to be a dainty little songsmith in Coolsville.
Oh, sure, I could set him up with a job, no sweat. Oh, wait, come to think of it, we don't have any openings right now for tambourine-shaking pansies who got dick-slapped by the big city.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live. It is Free Talk Live, and we're doing the live Saturday edition of the program. As always, you are invited to join us here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom, 855-450-3733. Of course, you can bring up anything that you like. Do want to welcome our brand newest affiliates out in Walla Walla, Washington, KTEL. Brand new radio station. I mean, the station's been around, but they changed formats recently, I think from sports talk to news talk. And so they brought us on from the get-go on KTEL, K-T-E-L. It's actually a trimulcast, if you will. There's the original KTEL, and then it has 2 what they call FM translators in the business. So there's 1 AM, 2 FMs, one there in Walla Walla, and another one in Milton, Freewater. So welcome aboard. That's Oregon, so it's like right there on the border. Anyway, welcome to our new listeners out there in Washington State and Oregon State. So if you are new to the program, then maybe you don't realize this really is an open phone show, and we really do take your calls about anything. We were inspired to do that years ago. I was inspired to do that by talk show hosts that never seem to want to take calls outside of the one topic that they've chosen for the hour. So if you don't want to talk about what we're discussing, that's okay. You can just pick up your phone and you can bring up what you want. And here in the studio, it's Ian.
And Mark.
So mission accomplished, says Donald Trump. It's over just about as soon as it began, Mark. We had last night, somebody called in, a couple people actually called into the show because we had not heard that during the show last night, apparently bombs were ordered to be dropped on Syria by the U.S. government. Apparently, I guess France and the U.K. joined in the bombing.
It's a coalition.
Yeah. And now Trump, according to the Associated Press, has declared mission accomplished for the U.S.-led Allied missile attack on Syria's chemical weapons program. But the Pentagon said the pummeling of 3 chemical-related facilities left enough others intact to enable the Assad government to use banned weapons against civilians if it chooses. However, Trump tweeted after the warplanes launched more than 100 missiles. He tweeted, quote, "A perfectly executed strike could not have been a better result. Mission accomplished." So there you go. Wrap that one up with a bow. We're all done here. No World War III. Everybody's just going to forget about this, right?
It doesn't sound that way with the talk shows today. I mean, that's all they talked about. I've got to say that he probably could have rethought that whole mission accomplished thing.
Because that's what Bush said back in the day?
And it was really sort of backfired on him. It was reminded again and again that mission accomplished probably wasn't the right term to describe Iraq at the time. And, coalitions fired 105 missiles. 40 were fired back. By the sounds of it, they didn't hit anything. The ones that were fired back, the ones that were fired did supposedly hit their targets, and those targets were supposedly,
not civilians,
chemical weapons manufacturing locations. But of course,
we know that the U.S. government has bombed wedding parties in Iraq and have bombed hospitals as well when they were supposedly targeting enemy structures.
Yeah, well, certainly a hospital would be there at 4 a.m. Chances are the wedding party wouldn't be. 4 a.m. One ostensibly would seem like a good time to do your bombing. That way, fewest people around, fewer civilians, that kind of thing. Hopefully, just an idea.
So the event that prompted this was the allegation that Assad in Syria had gassed his own people, correct?
Yes.
That was what Trump was supposedly retaliating for?
Doesn't make a heck of a lot of sense.
No.
So the Assad regime is already out on full court push saying, hey, we didn't do this. This is stupid. And I have to agree with them. It would be stupid.
Yeah.
Assad only...
Isn't he a doctor? Assad? Like a medical doctor?
I don't know the answer to that.
That's what I heard.
I don't think that... I guess that what you're trying to say is he's not stupid?
Oh, I mean, you pretty much can't be a doctor if you're a dumbass, right? Like it's pretty hard to get through medical school if you're a drooling Nimrod.
We've had pretty much everybody who's in the presidency's got some kind of master's degree, and I wouldn't say that any of them are absolute geniuses or anything.
What does the presidency have to do with anything?
You were just saying Assad's not stupid.
I said he was a doctor, not a president. Doctor. Okay. Any jackball can become a president, as we've seen. George Bush, Barack Obama.
So you need to be
Bill
smart
Clinton.
to be a dictator?
No, a doctor. You need to be smart to get through medical school.
It's a master's degree to be the president at this point. Every president in our lifetime has had a master's degree. Having a degree doesn't make you smart. It just means your family's had enough money to put you through school.
Alrighty.
So that's what I'm trying to say to you. Sorry I didn't understand right off. But Bashar al-Assad doesn't have any particular reason to gas his people, as his spokes killers have said up to this point, that essentially it would be stupid for them to do that. It would be outright foolish when they're getting things under control with bullets, right? Like they've got air superiority there. They don't need to just let's release a little chlorine gas and see what happens, unless what he was trying to do was thumb his nose at Trump, in which case then it would make some sense. But that's the only thing I can kind of come up with. Otherwise, it was a foolish move, and hopefully these little countries in the Middle East realize that thumbing your nose at the United States is a bad idea and should not be done. But Russia would be very, very annoyed if this was really Syria.
Assad graduated from, this according to Wikipedia, the Medical School of Damascus University in 1988 and started to work as a doctor in the Syrian army. So yes, he is a doctor.
There you go.
Now, that doesn't mean that he's not a psychopath. I mean, I don't really know much about the guy. But I'm sorry, what business is it of Donald Trump's what's going on in Syria exactly?
I think that anybody who would see torture going on could, become concerned with it.
Great. He could tweet about that. He could be concerned with that.
I think that the United States needs, if what you're trying to say is the United States needs to have a strategic plan.
No, I'm trying to say they should stay the hell out of other people's business.
That would be a strategic plan, wouldn't it?
A plan to not get involved in something? I suppose you could call that a plan, but not really. A plan usually involves taking action.
I would say that if the United States military was going to be employed, it should be employed as escape vehicles for people who are in Syria, so that they can
refugees,
get out of,
so they can
refugees,
leave.
so they can get out of there. That would be, and then if so much as a bullet plinked off the side of a U.S. ship, then you might see some return fire. But that would be, where I would. That's
well, it's not a libertarian view. I mean, the libertarian view is that the U.S. military shouldn't be over there at all. Probably shouldn't even exist.
Well,
but
ships
yeah.
exist.
So what you're saying is you would voluntarily fund a rescue mission like that?
Yeah, I'm down. I'll give some money for that. Sure.
Okay. Because that's the libertarian position, in my opinion, is that individuals should be funding the types of things they want to see military-esque groups doing around the world. If you want to see, bombing raids, then you put your own money up for it. Because I don't want to be associated with killings. I don't want that. Rescuing? Okay, now you're starting to get a little more persuasive. I could possibly sign on to that. I'd have to hear a little bit more about it. Whoever it would be that would be doing that rescuing would have to have a good track record of not trying to kill people in the midst of their rescuing.
course, Trump has no interest in allowing Syrian refugees in this country. He's concerned about people that are gassed, not those that are killed, and not those that could escape.
Yeah.
I don't understand why the U.S. doesn't just lay down a policy. Look, we'll take Syrian Christians. That would fly with the constituency, wouldn't it? Or wouldn't it? I don't know. Whatever. Just say we're only taking breeding females between the ages of 14 and 24. I don't know.
Let's go to Joshua. He's calling from Alamogordo, New Mexico. Joshua, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
Hey, how's it going, you guys?
You're on the air. We're ready. Go for it.
Right there?
Yeah, right here. Can you hear us? We might be having some difficulties behind the scenes. Hang on, Josh. We're going to put you back on hold there. Maybe there's a button that hasn't been pressed on the board there to make sure that you can hear what we're saying while we bring you on. So we're going to remedy that situation. Stand by. We'll get to your calls, your thoughts on, is this World War III? Is this the beginning of this? Some people are saying this is war. Trump's saying mission accomplished, acting like it's all over with.
Well, Russia's telling its people to get ready to hunker down for World War III.
Really?
Yeah. Now, hopefully that's not what it's going to come to. And
that sounds awful.
Best we can tell, there were no interactions between U.S. and Russian military. In fact, there's sort of a hotline between the two, so that there isn't any interaction, and that was used.
All right, the toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733 if you want to join us. Also, you can jump on our Skype at Skype username LRN.FM, and this is Free Talk Live.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful, full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available on Windows, Linux, Mac, Android, and iOS devices. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com.
From the first letter of Captain Mark. History is full of flowery documents claiming to limit the power of the crown, but these poetic social contracts have been impotent to prevent the predation. Limited government is a lie they use to keep us submissive. The crown cannot be trusted to abide by its founding charters, nor its treaties, nor even its own rules. The essence of the crown is centralized violence, and I've had enough. That's why I raised my black banner. I am no revolutionary. My aim is not to reset the cycle of violence, but to break it. My aim is an evolved society, invisible to the crown. Not a new hierarchy, but decentralized networks with no central figure for the crown to target. If you want your servile life, keep it, but we will not submit to the crown's agenda. And when you are ready to stop being its beast of burden, ready for adventure and opportunity, join us at pirateswithoutborders.com.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that tenth of a calorie it takes to click on something. facebook.freetalklive.com.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
Join the LRN.FM Discord for live chat 24/7 at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Dial toll free. Join us right here. The number for you is 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Joining you in the studio tonight, it's Ian
and Mark.
We're going to get right back into your calls and thoughts. And then on the way, we might get into an upset email. We don't get those too often, but we got one in the other day, and they seem to be mad at you, Mark, but we'll get into that coming up here in a bit. You can, of course, take control. Bring up what you want at 855-450 free like freedom. Also, Skype username LRN.FM, or jump in our Discord on-air call-in line room, and that will be probably the best quality way. Almost sounds like you're sitting in the studio if you get on our Discord. Go to discord.lrn.fm. You want the latest news headlines about Bitcoin? Then get on over to news.bitcoin.com. They've got them, and they've got them every single day there. Now, maybe you're new to Bitcoin. You want to find out what it's about? Start from the beginning. Go to bitcoin.com. It's a great place to go and learn the ropes in the world of cryptocurrency. And, of course, Bitcoin is where you should start. So, again, that's bitcoin.com. Board operator told me that he figured out what was wrong behind the scenes. So now I think we should finally be able to get Joshua on the air. He's been patiently waiting, listening in Alamogordo, New Mexico. Joshua, can you hear us now?
I can hear you.
Excellent. You're on the air. Go ahead.
Awesome. I just wanted to comment on your Syrian conversation you guys were having.
Mission accomplished, says Donald Trump.
I got through. Awesome. I think it's just more of a humanitarian issue. It's we need to reestablish ourselves in the world as exactly that. Who a country who stands up for the right things and the right thing to do, and that's what we should do.
But is that the right thing to do, to bomb people? I mean, without really knowing what's going on and get involved in other people's business in other countries?
When there's kids getting gassed by chemical weapons, it is everyone's business.
If we take your premise, and I'm not going to accept it, but that's fine. If we take your premise, then we need to do something about the kids that are being starved and shot and all the other things that are going on in Syria too, right?
You're right. And Boko Haram, right?
Yep, and Boko Haram, but don't forget all the Christian militias that are going on in Africa too. Do you want to stand up against the Christian militias too, or is it just for the Christians?
Well, you're right. You're totally right. Whatever the reason it may be, but I think the problem we have here in America is that we've come into a place where apologizing for things has been the norm. We no longer need to apologize for anything that we do.
You wouldn't have to apologize if you'd stay the hell out of other countries' business.
You're right. That's a touche.
The difficulty with the premise is that so all right, we stop all the violence against all the children that are out there, right? Like, so that's where you're at, and and it's an easy place to go.
So you're going to take on the UN peacekeepers too while you're at it, right? Because I heard they like to rape children.
No,
Don't forget the UN peacekeepers.
I'd rather just get out of there.
Okay.
I'd rather just get out of the UN.
But if the UN peacekeepers are going around the world raping children, which is what they have been alleged to do in a number of occasions where they occupy,
quite a few
that means you would advocate going in and taking them out too, right? The UN peacekeepers.
And also, but if you want to go that far, then we need to stop it here in this country. The sex trafficking, the Anthony Wieners, the
How do you stop it?
The Weinstein. You can't. I mean, you can stop it by communicating and informing these people and everyone about right and wrong. I mean, it seems as if our culture.
You're going to inform
nowadays,
politicians about right and wrong? They don't seem to care about that.
Yeah, let's not forget that the United States.
They're inhuman, right? It almost seems like they're inhuman.
Well, then why would you want them in charge of this?
Wait a second. I've got a question. So in Afghanistan, the United States military, this is not the politicians, okay, unless you consider higher up ranks in the military to be politicians, which there's certainly a good argument for that. There's a good argument for that. They're
politics
congressional nominees, appointees, I should say. But the military was basically providing young boy prostitutes to these militias that were in
Afghanistan.
In Afghanistan, absolutely. They I can't remember what the term they use to call these young boys, but that's what they are. It's verboten to go touching other folks' girls. So we've got little boys and we dress them up like girls, and it's sick by American standards.
When was that done?
It's just a few years ago. It's,
during the Obama administration?
I'm sure it was done during the Bush administration too. Look, we're talking about winning. Sure, yeah. We're not talking about children here. We're talking about winning wars. They're rare earth metals and oil pipelines to be had here. This isn't about what's right and wrong. Once you get politicians and things that go boom involved, right and wrong are out the window. When you're in a fight, you fight like the third monkey on the rail to the ark, and it's starting to rain, brother. I mean, that's how you fight. Okay,
yeah,
so when you're talking about
war is war.
Life and death, and that's what we're discussing here. Right and wrong really don't enter the picture anymore.
Joshua, I want to thank you for your call tonight. Oh, go ahead, real quick.
No problem. You guys are okay. You guys have a good one. All right.
If you got one more thought, you can throw it out there.
Oh, okay. Well, I totally agree with you guys. I think it's I think the last and final thought I think is that when it boils down to it, it does become right and wrong. I think we've lost our sense of direction. People are taking the wide and broad instead of the straight and narrow. And I truly believe that America is a good place, a good country. We just have a bunch of people who think that we should accommodate to everyone's needs, and we need structure, but we also need the other side of the token there. We need guidance, we need structure, but we also have to we also respect freedom too, because it is a privilege.
Well, it's a very confused statement in my opinion what you just said. Freedom is not a privilege. It should be a right. A privilege is something that you are granted by, other people.
Right?
No, privileges are things you're granted by other people. You have to go and ask permission. So, like the privilege to drive your car on the government roads. They demand that you come and beg them for a piece of plastic that gives you the ability to drive around without too much molestation by their armed agents. And if you don't, then you will definitely get molested by their armed agents and possibly thrown in a jail cell. But for all the things that you were just saying,
freedom is a right. You still have to fight for your rights if you want to have them, though. Agreed, Ian?
You absolutely have to stand up for your rights if you want to have them. Unfortunately, Americans don't do that. And if you're looking to politicians to provide anything for you, then you're going to be disappointed when it turns out they've actually taken your rights from you and then sold them back to you as privileges. Joshua, thank you for your call tonight. I appreciate it. The toll-free number here, if you want to join us, is 855-450-FREE like freedom. And if you're looking for morality, then please don't look to politicians. I mean, come on, everybody knows that these
If you're looking for your freedoms, they're not in Syria. You don't have to go over there and fight for them.
No doubt. But politicians are not going to be doing you any favors. Whenever they do things, are doing them for the people that have helped them out. They're doing, favors for their corporate buddies, their corporate masters. And of course, the corporations will scratch their back as well. And, that's where a lot of this warmongering comes from. Somebody just built those bombs or rebuilt new bombs to reload the bombs that have been dropped in Syria in the last 24 hours.
Yeah, not that I support government spending or anything like that, but the cost of those Tomahawk missiles would have taken care of a lot of problems in the United States from an infrastructure standpoint.
The toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE like freedom. In fact, Donald Trump from 2013 agrees with you, Mark. He said we should stop talking, stay out of Syria, and other countries that hate us, rebuild our own country, and make it strong and great again. And there's like 50 other tweets just like that from him. We'll tell you more coming up.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
It's a no-brainer. A Big Berkey water filter is the one you need, period. You need a water filter that removes chlorine, fluoride, pharmaceuticals, BPA, and other endocrine disruptors, pesticides, bacteria, viruses, and much more, right? And does it all at only 2 cents per gallon. Get the original and most trusted name in gravity water filtration, Big Berkey. And now GCN listeners receive 5% off ceramic filter systems using code GCN. Call or click 1-877-99-BERKEY or BigBerkeyWaterFilters.com. That's 1-877-99-BERKEY.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project early movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
If you're looking for work, you know what I mean by elevator speech. It's the short version, saying just enough to make the listener want to listen more. Even if you're not a job seeker, effective communication skills have never been more important, with money and attention so scarce now. So to cut through the clutter, choose every single word as though it was the last word the person you're speaking to will hear. Otherwise, it might be. Instead of saying, due to the fact that, say, because. And avoid mispronunciations. Say jewelry, not jewelry, which could offend. Undoubtedly, you don't want to say undoubtedly. And whatever you do, never use a preposition to end a sentence with. Just kidding. For more tips, hit survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
It is Free Talk Live, and you can bring up whatever you want. Just dial toll-free here, 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Or Skype in here at Skype username LRN.FM. Also, you can jump in our Discord chat and chat with other listeners, but also you can get in our Discord on-air call-in line room, which is wide open for you right now, at discord.lrn.fm. It's Ian and Mark in the studio here for the live Saturday edition, and you need to know about $6 shirts. That's the number, $6shirts.com. You want to talk about a huge selection of really cool shirts. It's almost a guarantee you're going to find something that you think is pretty awesome over at $6shirts.com. And as a bonus, you can be buying from a company that's actually run by a libertarian. A longtime listener and supporter of the show runs $6shirts.com. That's the number $6shirts.com. You get 10% off the already shockingly affordable rates over there at $6 Shirts by using code FTL, like Free Talk Live.
They actually have a email sign up that I'm signed up for, and they offer $4 shirts through that email.
Isn't that they have like one of those every single day or something?
Yeah, basically their newest tee.
Yeah, they've got like a featured T-shirt for $4. Pretty awesome. And they take Bitcoin. So if you're a cryptocurrency fan, you can spend it there at whatever shirts you like. They got all kinds of cool categories: pop culture, movie references, video games, politics, sports. You just head on over to $6shirts.com. And again, don't forget code FTL, like Free Talk Live, for 10% off. Let's continue with your calls and thoughts. Donald Trump saying that the mission's accomplished just 24 or so hours after the bombings began in Syria as a supposed response to alleged gassings of the Syrian people. Of course, we asked the question of, well, why is the U.S. government involved in this? This is just more world policing by the government. And then all you really have to do to really, ask some questions is to go back in time just a few years to Donald Trump's tweets from 2013 and 2014. In fact, the folks over at, what site is this here? This is Daily Caller. The Daily Caller have compiled what I would call an exhaustive list here, probably 40 or 50 strong, 40 or 50 different tweets that Donald Trump made. Here's one of them from 2013. He tweets to A.S. Browntown, "You want to send more Americans out to war? Why don't you sign up? I am against an attack on Syria, dummy."
Apparently he is, or was.
He was.
Yeah,
and
until
something changed his mind.
Well, he said that it was the gas attacks, and he's been pretty consistent. He's only seems to react when Syrians are killed by gas, not bullets. This I find to be...
Wasn't there a gas attack during the Obama administration?
Yes, but that was a red line. Yes, there was. I guess the short answer.
2013, September 9th, he also said, "Don't attack Syria." He didn't say anything about guns or bombs or whatever. He said, "Don't attack Syria, an attack that will bring nothing but trouble for the U.S. forces on making our country strong and great again," he says. And this could go on and on and on. I mean, there's 40 or 50 different tweets here.
It's a shame that the difference between candidates in this country and presidents is such a chasm.
Well, is it the power itself that went to his head, or is it that now he's got certain people telling him what to do and he feels like he has to do whatever it is that those people say? The old puppet theory that whoever it is that gets elected.
I thought he was elected to get rid of the deep state.
Well, it looks like he's become the deep state, Mark, or he was to begin with.
It's just a different flavor of swamp.
Let's go to your calls, your thoughts here. We've got Carl is on the line listening in Texarkana to KTFS. Hello, Carl.
Yeah, a while ago, one of you mentioned that that they should be rescuing young people over there rather than bombing.
I'd pay for that.
Okay. Well, how are you gonna rescue them? Where do they go? You're gonna bring them all over here? What about all of the suffering people all around the world? How do you do all of that?
Let them all come in, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, I think that the United States and other countries probably do well to allow people to come here, work hard to make a better life for themselves. That's how my ancestors came here.
Yeah, if you just got rescued from almost near certain death, you probably would appreciate the fact that somebody brought you to a nice place.
I don't support the refugee program as it exists because I don't believe that you should be forced to pay for other people's sustenance and that sort of thing. But I do think that I think that people should be able to be free, and I think that humans have their best expression in that way.
Yeah, but here's the problem with that scenario. Right. There are people who would flood into this country that'd love to see you dead. That they would love to see this country under Islam. It cuts your head off in the blink of an eye.
Oh, that's...
And it has nothing to do with wanting to be free. They want to.
Where's the evidence? I mean, for all
tyranny.
the fear-mongering about that, where are all the beheadings, sir?
I've been to the Middle East. Nobody tried to slop my head off when I was there.
I'd like to see the beheadings. Can you cite some for me? Or, if these people are supposedly so dangerous, huh?
every question could be answered that way. There are gruesome videos online.
No. I mean in the United
groups
States.
Of people being.
No. I'm not talking about the beheadings going on between ISIS and whoever they're fighting with in the Middle East. I'm talking about, you said that there are bad people that want to come here and kill us and behead us. And I'm telling you that we've seen plenty of evidence of all kinds of people that can just come here and do violence if they want to. So where are these people with their beheadings?
You know what? Everywhere that they go, they wait until the numbers get large enough and they take over an area, just like they did in France. There are areas in France where even the police can't go.
That's false. That's not a true story. That's fake news.
Yeah. I will say this, though, that if you give people a bunch of free stuff and that way they can keep their wives at home and they're not allowed to go out and they have to keep their little heads wrapped up and all that other stuff, then then those people won't progress within the culture. However, if a family has to work in order to get wealthier and make money and these sorts of things, then you'll find out very quickly that the wife's going to be like, you know what I like? I like blue jeans. You know what I like? I like my kids being able to play soccer without getting called names. And they're going to assimilate a lot faster. It's the handouts that they have in Europe that have caused these enclaves of Middle Easterners that have very high unemployment and these sorts of things.
Yeah, there you go. Blame the Westerners for what the
I'm
Muslims
blaming
do.
socialism. That's what I'm blaming.
Well, they don't allow the women to take off the headdress and the body covering. They don't allow it under their religion.
Son, have you ever lived with a woman? You don't allow or disallow them to do anything. They do what the hell they want. Look, the ladies over there they're not beaten into submission. They run their households just like anybody else. And when they get a mind to living like the Western ladies do, like they did in Tehran, like they did in Baghdad, like they were, all over the Middle East until the United States started bombing the hell out of them, then you'll see some progress.
Yeah, Carl, I mean, you sound like somebody that's gotten all your information about Islam from talking heads on news media. Is that pretty much true?
They are literally beaten into submission. Women testify to that. Victims who have escaped testify to
How
that.
many women have ruled, the United States versus how many women have ruled Islamic countries? And then you will see that you're probably kind of mistaken.
You know, Mark, you and I helped actually put together a mosque here in the Keene area. We worked hand in hand with local Muslims and, in fact, welcomed a Muslim family here to the area from down in Tennessee.
I didn't turn my back on them. I figured they'd lop my head off, given any old chance.
I was in a room full of them, Mark, and they didn't do a darn thing to me. In fact, they're very, very nice folks. And, yes, the woman of the household does wear a head covering because that's her religious belief.
If that's what she wants to do?
Yeah. She certainly doesn't have to in the United States, but she does anyway.
When I go to Sarasota and I go to Big Olaf's and get an ice cream cone, the women there have head coverings too. The Amish ladies and the Mennonite ladies wear head coverings. And you know what? They speak a different language too. They've never assimilated. But people would call Amish about as American as you can get.
Thanks for the call, Carl. I appreciate it. The toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And, of course, it should be pointed out, and I don't think we touched on this, but if indeed, and I believe that there are probably some people that would like to exterminate some lives in the United States.
Oh, absolutely.
Those people likely have the feelings they have because the United States military has been, and the CIA, has been meddling and bombing and destroying life in their home countries for decades upon decades.
Don't forget, I support the right to keep and bear arms, too.
The toll-free number here tonight. Oh, we'll tell you more. Coming up.
I've said it many times on air, and I'll say it here. The New Hampshire Liberty Alliance is one of the most important organizations for freedom in the world. New Hampshire is ground zero for freedom, and the NHLA is the best organization at promoting effective liberty activism. This ad is sponsored by Free Talk Live, and I, Mark Edge, am a lifetime member because I believe in the NHLA. Please check them out at nhliberty.org. Not everyone can move right now, but you can support the cause. Donate top cryptocurrencies or old-fashioned U.S. dollars, nhliberty.org. Visit their website and see what they're all about, nhliberty.org.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful, full-featured wallet. that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. Use the Bitcoin.com wallet to buy, send, store, and receive both Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com.
Warning: if you're drowning in debt you can't afford, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to pay it all back, because you don't. What the credit card companies don't want you to know is that there's actually a way to get debt-free without paying off your entire debt or going bankrupt. If you have $5,000 or more in credit card debt, you now have the right to let us settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. For free information, call Credit Associates now. 1-800-959-5759. We'll even show you how much money you could save. If you can't afford to pay off all your debt, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to. Call Credit Associates now for free information on how to get debt-free faster than you ever thought possible without debt consolidation or bankruptcy. We depend on your success and offer a guarantee, so there's no risk. For free information, call now. 1-800-959-5759. That's 1-800-959-5759. 1-800-959-5759.
Free Talk Live.
Tricia, you deserve the forgiveness. Absolutely. I know that it feels like you've made some mistakes, and you know what? You have made mistakes. Now, it doesn't feel like this.
Who hasn't?
Right. It doesn't make any sense for you to continue to beat yourself up. You're not going to get anything out of it. Nobody else is going to get anything out of it.
That's true.
B, you would give the forgiveness to somebody else. You deserve that forgiveness for yourself.
And only you can give it to yourself.
I mean,
and I think forgiveness is about moving on for yourself, being able to come to a position in your own mind where you're ready to just accept what went wrong and try your best to do better in the future. And find self-assess and find areas that you can improve. And I think, bringing forgiveness to the table for yourself is one of the most important things that you can do.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free at apps.lrn.fm.
Ross Ulbricht was convicted in early 2015 of running the infamous Silk Road Underground Market. The Silk Road was a gift to humanity and helped reduce the harms brought on by drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Now, an appeal is Ross's only chance, and he needs your support. Please visit freeross.org, where you can contribute via various methods, including Bitcoin. Visit freeross.org. That's freeross.org.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. Dial toll-free here and bring up whatever you want. Our number here, 855-450, free like freedom. We talked in the beginning of the hour about the Syrian bombing, Donald Trump saying mission accomplished and, making excuses for why he's completely changed his tune. We've got a list of approximately 50 different tweets from Trump from back in 2013 and 2014, like this one. At Real Donald Trump said in September 5th, 2013, all in caps. That means he's shouting, "Again, to our very foolish leader, do not attack Syria. If you do, many very bad things will happen, and from that fight, the U.S. gets nothing." So, he was very adamant here about not going into Syria, and there are many other tweets very, very similar to that. But yet he decided to go ahead and drop some bombs in Syria last night. And
I wonder what the U.S. gets now.
That led to a longer discussion about U.S. military policy, what the libertarian viewpoint on things is. We're going to go back to your calls and thoughts here. Our toll-free number, if you want to join us, is 855-450-FREE. Those phones are loaded up right now, but you can still get in on our Skype at Skype username LRN.FM or in the Discord chat, in the Discord on-air call-in line room. Just go to discord.com/LRN amp.lrn.fm. And if you like what we do on Free Talk Live, then please join the AMP program over at amp.freetalklive.com, ampamp.freetalklive.com. It's $5 a month. You know we give you everything for free on the website, right? We got the archives, we got the webcam over at twitch.lrn.fm. You can watch us live. There's chat rooms, the Discord, all these features, they're all free. But if you appreciate the fact that we do all that for free, if you appreciate the fact that we're here 7 nights a week talking about peace and liberty and freedom on the radio, on over 180 great radio stations around the United States and on satellite, then please help us out by becoming an amplifier and get some cool perks like access to the AMP-only call-in lines, the AMP-only podcast, the AMP-only Facebook group, AMP-only Discord chats, and more. Go get the details, and please get signed up. It makes a big difference for us. The amplifiers are the reasons why we are on as many radio stations as we're on. So, and there's only about 200 of them, just over 200 ampers. So please help us out. Go to amp.freetalklive.com. It's $5 a month. You can use your credit card, PayPal. You can use Bitcoin Core as well. That's ampamp.freetalklive.com. John is in Dover. John, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
Yeah, hey guys, I just wanted to say about this whole Syrian thing and the bombings and all that. I think it's totally ridiculous and uncalled for. I don't know why we always have to play the big policeman of the world and get involved in everybody else's business.
Good question.
I mean, I'm sure that it is, and I'm sure that there's other countries in the world right now that are treating their people really, really terribly, and we're not getting involved in that nonsense.
Yeah, North Korea. How about some of the African dictators?
Myanmar.
Yeah. Countless.
I mean, it's happening all over the place, man. And it's ridiculous. And anybody with any type of intelligence would know that, the reason that we're over there and the reason that we're always at war is the same reason why the fascist Nazis decided to always be at war. If anybody knows about that, I mean, it's a fact that was one of their views. As long as they stay fighting, they'll stay making money.
Well,
and I believe
who was it? Randolph
Bourne
that said war is the health of the state, I believe. So,
yeah,
I mean, the state in general wants to do that.
Yeah, it's unbelievable, man. And up until now, I thought Trump was a halfway decent leader, but, I don't know what's going on, man. And it's getting crazy. And I don't know why they want to be involved with a war with Syria. I mean, Russia already started talking all this nonsense about attacking us if we did anything. I mean, there's going to be a conflict, and it's going to get bigger and bigger and escalate into something that we don't want.
Well, to some extent, there's, the theory. So as far as why is the U.S. the world's police? Well, as you pointed out, it's not a very effective world's police because it only polices certain areas of the world. And it seems like those certain areas have more to do with oil fields than anything else. And also, of course,
ding,
any place that they're going to be expending resources, taxpayer dollars on bullets and bombs and tanks and, uniforms and all that. And, of course, that's money that goes into the pockets of the military-industrial complex, the corporations who feed their products into the military and make buku bucks off of that. So, of course,
it was the Republican Eisenhower who warned us of the military-industrial complex.
He did indeed. John, thanks for your call tonight, man. I appreciate your thoughts here. The toll-free number, if you want to join us, is 855-450-FREE like freedom. Let's go to Ralph. He's calling us from Old Town, Maine. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Ralph.
Hi. Yeah, I'd like to say a few things about Syria. I've been following it closely for, over 8 years now. If you can go online and find the French foreign minister, a former French foreign minister, Roland Dumas, Dumas. He said that he was in the city of London a couple years before the violence happened in Syria. So back in 2008, 2009, and they were planning on taking out Syria. He says it was planned in the city of London. Now, if you know, so you can look that up online. But if you know the city of London, that whole deal, it's not the City of London. It's like the City of London Corporation. It's 1 square mile within London that it's like where all the banks are. Rothschild owns everything there, see? Rothschild owns Trump. Trump was going to go bankrupt with the Taj Mahal, and Rothschild sent his man, Wilbur Ross, to put him into bankruptcy. But Wilbur saw him as like, wow, look, all these people around him, man. We could, instead of taking the property and hardly being able to liquidate it, we could get him to sell it. So they kept him on. see? And now here's the
So you're saying the
payback.
bankers have control over Trump like a puppet?
Well, they say this about the media too, right? I mean, like the bankers are supposed to have control of the media. Is that right?
Yes, they're all the same group.
How come this Rothschild fella has never gotten a hold of Ian and I? I mean, at 180 stations, do we still
small time.
not qualify at the, I mean, we're 2 or 3 in our time slot. We're the only thing that's live on the weekend in America, practically during our time slot. And they've never gotten a hold of us. They've never said, hey,
That's
Mark,
what they want you to believe.
you want a check? Because, I remember when people offer me checks. I always remember that. I've got a steel trap.
What is your explanation for that, Ralph?
Well, you said that about rare metals and oil pipelines. Well, most people don't realize that they found oil. Genie Oil Company.
How is that
found
responsive to the
oil
question
in the
that you
Golan
were
Heights.
just asked? Did you
It's
hear the
not.
question that you were asked?
What?
Try again,
How
Mark.
come the Rothschild or these banking organizations have never gotten a hold of me or Free Talk Live or, I presume, Ian? I don't know if he's telling the truth, but he says he's never been contacted.
They're too busy killing people and making money, see? Rothschild, Cheney, Murdoch, Woolsey, Summers, they're all on the board of directors of Genie Oil.
Okay,
they
but
have
what
the
you're
exclusive rights to
Look,
a huge oil find.
I don't doubt what you're saying is true there, Ralph. And you've explained that. You've explained that to us before. Now, I don't doubt what you're saying there is true, but are you one of the people who believes that, the media is controlled by only a few individuals?
They're all Rothschild Zionists. They're all neocons.
Thank you for the call tonight. I appreciate it. The toll-free number, we're not really having a conversation there. It seems like he's got talking points that he wants to make and just, keep
Something
hammering
that
at
doesn't
him.
fit into those talking points is going to be dismissed. And I just don't understand. I've been told over and over again that these Jewish bankers, they're out there, they're meddling, they're into everything, and they got the media wrapped up, and you just don't hear anything else. And it's not that I would necessarily take the money, it's that it's never been offered. Never.
You got some Coke money once for Free Talk Live. The Koch brothers.
Institute for Humane Studies, which has gotten Coke, the Coctopus money.
But are they part of the evil bankers, or are they like
nope? They're just
evil
libertarian
/ conservative.
They're just libertarians.
types?
That's the next thing you've got to go after. If first the Jews don't work, then you got to go after Soros and Acorn. If that doesn't work, then you got to go after the Coctopus. Like at some point or another, let's talk about the philosophy that's going on. And the philosophy that's going on here was that Trump believed in America first, and that there was nothing for America in Syria. Now, apparently, he believes that something is important enough to drop at least a few bombs.
Let's go to Rob. He's in Indianapolis listening to WIBC FM. Hello, Rob. You're on Free Talk Live.
Yeah, how you doing?
Welcome, sir.
I got a couple questions and a couple comments.
Yeah.
On the banks, when that gentleman was talking about the banks, I do not believe the banks run the media.
Okay.
I don't believe it's ran by a few people. I believe everybody's got their own issue and they put it out there. Some of them lie, some of them don't.
Okay.
But the other thing is, you're also forgetting the Rockefellers and J.P. Chase. I mean, if they want to talk about the banks that run this country, it's all of them. I mean, it's all the big guys, not just them. Not just what's that guy's name?
Rothschild is who he's mentioning.
Rothschild. Yeah, you got J.P. Chase. You got Rockefellers. I mean, it goes on and on and on.
Right.
The other thing is, you talking about the Islamic faith a while ago.
Yeah, I want you to be able to make your point on Islam. Stand by. We're going to bring you back after the news here, and more coming up here. It's Free Talk Live.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Saturday, April 14th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.66 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,345 per ounce. Zencash is trading at $31, and the average price of Bitcoin is $7,978. Antiwar.com reports mere minutes after President Trump announced that he had ordered the U.S. to attack Syria, reports began emerging from Syria's capital of Damascus that an air war is starting over the city. Explosions had been reported in eastern Damascus, and locals described smoke rising from the area. Within Syria, there is reporting that Syrian air defensives have been fired in and around Damascus, and at least one U.S. missile had been intercepted. Reuters reported there were rumors of a U.S. strike hitting a housing center for the Syrian Scientific Studies and Research Center employees. The SSRC had been sanctioned by the U.S. Treasury Department for involvement in chemical weapons. There are unconfirmed reports of civilian casualties in Damascus. Air defenses are reportedly active in several locations around Syria now. Unconfirmed preliminary reports are that some of the missiles were fired from Jordan, and the Syrian coast is thus far quiet. U.S. planes and ships are said to be involved. Quiet on the coast may not be for long, however. With both Britain and France joining the operation, there are already reports of British warplanes taking off from Cyprus, presumably part of the attack. French and British naval assets have been en route to the area for several days. You can support FPP Radio by shopping online. Whether you're looking for precious metals or books, you'll find that and more at shop.fppradio.com. Every purchase you make from one of my affiliates, like Namecheap and Amazon, at shop.fppradio.com helps fund FPP Radio. Or you can shop directly from FPP with Bitcoin in the Bitcoin store. That's shop.fppradio.com. UPI reports a federal judge in Philadelphia has ruled that limousine drivers for Uber Technologies are independent contractors and not the company's employees under federal law. The first ruling of its kind on a crucial issue for the ride-hailing company. District Judge Michael Belson on Wednesday said San Francisco-based Uber does not exert enough control over drivers for the limo service, Uber Black, to be considered their employees under the Federal Fair Labor Standards Act. The drivers work when they want and are free to nap, run personal errands, or smoke cigarettes in between rides. The legal classification of workers has been a major issue for the so-called gig economy companies that rely on independent contractors. Uber, in particular, has been hit with dozens of lawsuits in recent years claiming that its drivers are employees and are entitled to minimum wage, overtime, and other legal protections not afforded to independent contractors. An Uber spokeswoman said the company is pleased with the decision. Many of the cases filed against Uber have been sent to arbitration, but the plaintiffs in the Philadelphia case were among a small minority of drivers who had opted not to sign arbitration agreements with the company. Jeremy Abbey, a lawyer for the plaintiff, said he would appeal the ruling to the Philadelphia-based 3rd U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports Blaine Salamone, the Baton Rouge, Louisiana police officer who fatally shot Alton Sterling, appealed his dismissal with the Civil Service Board, according to his lawyers. Police Chief Murphy Paul announced Salamone's firing in March, along with disciplinary action against another officer, Howie Lay II. At the time, police also released footage of the body cameras the two officers wore the night of Sterling's shooting. The graphic videos of the 2016 shooting show Lake was the first to arrive at a convenience store after police received reports of a man matching Sterling's description selling CDs and threatening another man with a gun. Salamone arrived a short time later and immediately yelled at Sterling, "Don't bleeping move or I'll shoot you in the bleeping head." Police shot Sterling twice with a taser before he fell to the ground. On the ground, Sterling appeared to struggle again, and one officer yells that he's found a gun while searching Sterling. Salamone then fired 6 shots, killing Sterling. John McLendon, Salamone's lawyer, said he appealed to the Municipal Fire and Police Civil Service Board, which oversees personnel issues with the police department. The appeal says the termination was not made in good faith and for cause and calls for a public hearing. The Civil Service Board is comprised of 3 civilians, a representative of the police department, and a representative from the fire department. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
According to attendees of a karaoke night at Charlie's Bar and Grill, a man 30 seconds into singing Michael Jackson's Man in the Mirror better get his act together and get it together fast.
He up from the get-go. Coming in late on that first line, singing totally off-key. He needs to shape up and get his head in the game pronto.
Honestly, he needs to get serious right now or get the f*** off the stage. I mean, what does he think this is? Living on a prayer?
Claiming that this is turning into a train wreck, eyewitnesses say they are embarrassed for the man who has missed several key words despite staring at the prompter the entire time.
You know, he could hit every last note for the remainder of the song, and I still don't know if that would be enough to turn this thing around.
Man in the Mirror is the big leagues, so you better show up with your A-game.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. We're launching into the second hour of the program. You can join us here. The toll-free number, 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype as well, so feel free to call in that way. Skype username is lrn.fm. With you tonight, it's Ian.
And Mark.
Don't forget, you can also call us on our Discord chat. Go to discord.lrn.fm and then just get into the on-air call-in line chat room, and we will join you there, put you on the radio with us. We're going to go back to your calls and thoughts here. Rob, in Indianapolis, we were talking about Donald Trump and the invasion of Syria, the bombing of Syria that happened last night, which is, of course, in total contradiction to the things Donald Trump had said in the past. Things like this quote here from 2013 in August 29th, he said on his Twitter, "What will we get for bombing Syria besides more debt and a possible long-term conflict? Obama needs congressional approval." Well, he didn't bother to seek that for his bombing raid, did he? Anyway, we got Rob on the line in Indianapolis. You had a point you wanted to make about Islam because that came up in the last hour. Go ahead, Rob.
Yeah, I believe there's so many people that's not educated on the Islam faith.
Oh, yeah. Tell me about
They
it.
just throw things out there, and they have no idea. They listen to little clips here and there. They have no idea. I'm a little educated on the Quran, not really educated, but I can tell you this. I don't think it's the Quran that I have a problem with. It's the law that a lot of Islam wants to live under. Not all Islam. I mean, Sharia law, I guess, I don't know. Is all Islam what, Sharia law?
Well, so Sharia law is a set of rules for Muslims generally,
right.
And in the same way that Talmudic law is rules for Jews, and the vast majority of anything, I don't know of any Sharia law that has to do with Westerners or Christians or anything like that, other than sort of saying you're supposed to live in peace with people who have different faiths than you.
Yeah, the whole Sharia law thing gets blown way out of proportion by people who are essentially just using it to fearmonger. The Muslims that I know are not interested in imposing their Sharia law on anybody except for their own Muslim families and themselves. Also the interpretation of this is different to the perspective of, do you use Sharia law as a thing that you've chosen to do as part of your own religious beliefs, or is it something that you've imposed by a government? Because there are different beliefs, right? Like there's the kind of Muslim who does not understand, in my opinion, their own teachings, and that is to say that this does not belong in a government because the government would be imposing those laws on everyone, regardless of their religious beliefs, but that they should only be private religious.
That would be a caliphate
strictures.
So,
right. I agree 100%. And my problem, what I was saying was, I believe that is the what people don't understand about a Muslim faith is because I know some Muslims too that don't want to live by Sharia law, that wouldn't live by Sharia law, or they'd live over in Iraq or Iran. But the problem is, I don't think people understand the concept of the Sharia law and Islam as a whole. They think it all comes as one package. Like, okay, if you're Islam, you have to live by Sharia law.
There are different people who believe different things when it comes to Islam, right? There's different scholars who interpret things differently, just like with Christianity. In the same
Catholics that don't eat meat on Fridays. I mean, there's different faiths have different rules, and they do different things at different time. And
yeah, it's absolutely true. In fact, as I was mentioning before, we have a mosque that's opened up here within the last several months here in Keene, New Hampshire, and we know the guy who he's a sometime co-host here on Free Talk Live, Will Coley, who runs the place. And
yeah, I've heard him.
And he is he's providing this place for anybody who is a Muslim in the area. And guess what? Even though there's a dozen or two, maybe dozen Muslims in this region, turns out they don't all agree on everything, right? So like some of them want to have the Jummah, which is their Friday gathering that they have in the afternoon. They want to have it all in Arabic, but others want to hear it in English, and so they're trying to make it trying to make as many people happy with this as possible, considering they're trying to bring different belief systems, slightly different belief systems together under the same roof and have everybody get along. And so far it's working out pretty well, but there's obviously some little minor conflicts and disagreements, and that's just kind of the way people tend to be. Muslims, Christians, you fill in the blank. As long as the group is large enough, you're going to have divergence, you're going to have forks, schisms. And Rob, thanks for your call tonight. I do appreciate hearing from you. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. And of course, Will Coley is just a great resource for anybody that wants to actually learn what Muslim beliefs are, at least what his Muslim beliefs are. And of course, he's not the same as everybody else in the world, but
yeah, I'm no big fan of Abrahamic religions generally. Frankly, any religion that's been around, any period of time isn't going to be my favorite, because I believe you should have a relationship with God, an ongoing personal relationship. And I don't think you can get that out of a book. I don't think you can read other people's relationship and figure out your relationship to God. I think that is going to cause problems, because here you have the problem with should we have the service in Arabic? Should we have it in Latin? Or should we have it in English? Or, I don't know. Do you want to understand it? And I mean, it just seems dumb to me, but, I don't go to a mosque. Why would I care?
Toll-free number tonight, 855-450-FREE like freedom. As we continue, you can bring up what you want. Let's talk to Jeff. He's in the Ozarks in Missouri. Jeff, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
Thanks for taking my call.
Yeah, welcome.
I'm a veteran. I'm back from my 5th deployment last year in the Middle East and Southern Asia. And just regarding Islam, I have no problem with the religion, but back during the beginning of the refugee crisis, and this has to do with the media as well, the leadership of the Islamic State announced to the whole world, and the American media, as far as I know, did not cover this, but they said we're going to unload 800,000 refugees into Europe, Asia, and the West, and 10% of those, and this was reported, I know BBC and I think NPR actually covered this, that 10% of them were going to be Islamic State soldiers that were going to be integrated within those people. Okay, this is not fake news. This is a real thing. Okay, and so this now we're a little more careful here in the United States about looking at refugees that come through. A lot of the European countries obviously did not evaluate people that came through. Some European countries refused to accept some, and they got a lot of grief for refusing to take in those refugees, but they saw what was going on, and they fenced off the areas.
So did these Islamic State fighters that infiltrated into these countries that were obviously too stupid to keep them out, did they cause all kinds of havoc?
They have, and they have established some communities to where they can set up to produce havoc in the future as they build up resources and
sounds like a lot of fear-mongering.
I haven't heard any stories that have to do with Islamic State infiltration.
The American media is I've watched it in Eastern Europe, in Middle East, and in Asia, and they don't report these things. BBC does.
I keep an eye on BBC and Al Jazeera and a whole variety. As a matter of fact, I have the BBC app on my television.
We've got a website, freetalklive.com. If you click on the show topics there, the front page, it's a Reddit-based site. You can actually submit whatever content that you want. So when you find some sort of evidence to back up whatever it is you're saying, you can just drop it right on in there on the front page, basically, of our website. And we'll be able to see that before the show starts. We usually check there and see, what it is that listeners have been suggesting. But a lot of this stuff sounds like fear-mongering to me. We had the caller earlier who said there's areas in France the police don't even go into. That was misreported. It was proven to be false. The guy who came out with that report actually ended up recanting it later on down the line. So color me skeptical. I want to see the evidence, Jeff, and you're welcome to send that over at freetalklive.com. And I thank you for the call tonight. Because, again, where are the beheadings? Is that happening? No. Not.
Well, there's people had their heads beheaded. People have
not
been beheaded.
In places he's talking about, though. Not by Islamic State militants that I've heard of. 855 450 free, because we followed the beheadings pretty closely here on Free Talk Live when those videos were coming out. We played them on the air.
This is Daryl W. Perry, host of Free Talk Live. This November, I'll be running in the world's biggest and most popular marathon, the New York City Marathon, and I've accepted a spot on Team Innocence Project because I'm a passionate supporter of their work. Since 1989, 353 people in the United States have been exonerated by DNA testing, including 38 who pled guilty to crimes they did not commit, and 20 of whom served time on death row. The Innocence Project provided direct representation or critical assistance in 180 of these cases. With your help, the Innocence Project can help even more people who have been wrongly convicted. As part of Team Innocence Project, I'm raising awareness about wrongful convictions and raising funds to help free the innocent. I've already paid the race registration fees. However, to secure my spot on Team Innocence Project in the New York City Marathon, I need to raise $3,500 by November 1st. You can support the Innocence Project and help me secure my race entry by going to run.freetalklive.com.
The Bitcoin.com wallet is a simple and powerful, full-featured wallet that allows you to send and receive Bitcoin Cash and Bitcoin Core with anyone, anywhere in the world. It supports both single and multi-signature wallets and is available in multiple languages. The Bitcoin.com wallet is available on Windows, Linux, Mac, Android, and iOS devices. Learn more at wallet.bitcoin.com.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. LRN.FM now has a Discord. Discord is a free text and voice chat platform, and we now have our own server with a bunch of channels at discord.lrn.fm. You can join other listeners as they chat about various things during our live shows, or anytime, day or night. Discord software is available cross-platform, so you can have it on whatever device you want and take your chats anywhere. Join our Discord at discord.lrn.fm. That's discord.lrn.fm. The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
You can put the Liberty Radio Network on the air in your area. Visit broadcast.lrn.fm to learn how. Broadcast.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial in, toll free, bring up whatever you want. Our number here, 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And also Skype in at Skype username LRN.FM. With you tonight, it's Ian.
And Mark.
Also, want to make sure you know about Liberty.menu. It is a tool for the libertarian, voluntarist, liberty-loving community, people who are business owners, if that describes you or you're an entrepreneur, and you want other liberty-minded people to know about your business, then you need to be listed on Liberty.menu. This is the premier site to have a libertarian business directory, and it's very, very good. In fact, it's easy to use. It looks good. It's slick. And it's free, so there's no charge for you to go there and get your business listed.
Just have to be a libertarian.
Yeah, you have to be an individual who rejects the initiation of force and agrees to abide by the ethics of the non-aggression principle. If that describes you, you qualify. Get your butt over to Liberty.menu and get your businesses up there on the map, because you might be missing out on money on the table. There could be people out there who are liberty-minded who would like to do business with you, but they don't know you exist yet. And so this is one of the ways you can let them know that. And also, if you're a liberty-minded person who wants to find businesses to do business with, to purchase products and services from in your area, then go to Liberty.menu and take a look and see if there's anything up there right now. It's still a relatively new site. It's less than a year old at this point. We just started promoting it within the last couple of months. So I'm glad we've got a partnership with them. It's something that we've been asked about a lot over the years is, how do I find, hey, Ian and Mark, how do I find businesses that care about freedom? I'd rather do business with them. And until Liberty.menu, there really wasn't a good option, and now there is.
Yeah, it looks great.
And it's free. So again, there's no reason not to get up there. Maybe you're not an entrepreneur, but you like organizing events, or you're a digital content creator. There's categories for those too. So you can submit different types of information to the site about whatever it is that you do. Liberty.menu. And you can also use code FTL when you're getting signed up or on your profile page, and that'll give you a special Free Talk Live badge at Liberty.menu as we go back to the phones and to the fun. Joel Joel is in Grand Rapids, Minnesota. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Joel. Listening to WNMT.
So I was hearing you guys earlier talking about, Muslim immigration to the U.S. and, Sharia law and stuff. And, really America has always had a group of people immigrating to the U.S. that, they've kind of focused their hate on. First being, the Catholic Irish.
The Irish. Yep.
Then the Asians.
Yep.
And then now with the Muslims.
And Hispanics, of course, are also hated these days.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no! Did you not?
Sorry. Yeah, I got it. Sorry.
Yeah.
Brain fart. So I think the reason that European countries, it's really hard for these people to immigrate is because they've never really had a history of like having a melting pot type of a country like America. Like with France, in their history, they've had immigration from like, Russia and things around there, but they've never really had like a big melting pot kind of community until now, where there's people from all around the world because we have such a more globalized world today, and I think that's the problem over there. So yeah, that's my take on that.
Is that true though? I mean, I've never spent time in Europe, so I have no time, no personal.
I've
experience.
spent a little time in Europe, but I find that to be a fallacy. The idea that you've traveled through someplace doesn't really give you much of the ability to speak on it. Maybe I can say that my theory isn't my own, which is to say that a whole bunch of government programs that allow you to keep your wife locked up in the apartment while you go out and work, that situation has been reported on and corroborated multiple times by different folks around, different reporters around Europe. Whereas I haven't heard this this theory that France hasn't had a lot of influx of immigrants.
Well, I mean, the melting pot idea does flesh out over time, but initially what you certainly have seen here in the United States is immigrant communities moving together, right? So you've got Chinatown, you've got Little Italy, you've got these places where if you go into those places, I remember, Mark, when you and I were in D.C. for some talk radio conference years ago, God, it's probably like a decade ago at this point, we were in D.C. and we went to Chinatown and went into some Chinese food place, and man, they couldn't speak a lick of English, but yet we managed to, point at the stuff that we wanted, and they took our money, so it was, totally fine.
Yeah.
But the idea being that they can move into communities where people do speak their language and they do feel comfortable with, the people around that understand whatever customs that they're used to, and then they can kind of branch out from there. And then we've seen that down the line, after 2 or 3 generations maximum, usually all the kids and grandchildren know English, and they're much more better.
My grandmother came from Germany. My great-grandmother came from Germany. My grandmother could barely speak it. My mother can't. I got nothing.
Do you know how to say no in German?
Nein.
There you
Nein!
go. There you go. Joel, anything else you want to share tonight?
Yeah. So, the whole thing about, Sharia law, and how I heard the guy speaking before about how, that's his thing against Islam is that, Sharia law is what his problem with Islam is. Like, he has no problem with the Quran. It's just the Sharia law. And you spoke about, like, how, the Talmud for Jews and stuff like that. And I think that, Americans who want to keep, closed immigration, but, still want to, reach their religion out to cover those people have no chance to hear your American centralized religion like Baptists and stuff. If you're going to close your borders and not let them in, and they expect them to, have the same beliefs as them and believe that, God's the one true power, and stuff like that.
Yeah, I think the big concern when you dig, when it comes to people's theories on immigration is that they understand that the Republican Party has destroyed itself when it comes to immigrants voting for it. I mean, this is the party that Muslims voted for en masse prior to 9/11. Every Muslim in the country basically voted Republican, and that Mexicans in Texas voted for George Bush. They voted for him for governor. They voted for him for president, and that at one point Republicans had an immigrant vote, and now they don't. And they understand that if they let people in this country, those people are likely to vote Democrat. Now, look, I'm an office-holding Republican. I would like people to vote Republican over Democrat, personally. But, man, I think that ship sailed.
Joel, thanks for the call tonight. I do appreciate hearing from you. If you want to join us, our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. There's actually been a story in my show prep for a couple weeks now that we haven't really even gotten to relating to the immigration. Trump has apparently ordered the National Guard down to the Mexican border.
Yep.
And we can talk more about that if we get the chance. But of course, your calls and thoughts are the primary element here. And I do understand what the caller was saying. Like, if you want people to absorb your religion, you probably should let them live closer to you. But whether it's Sharia law or whether it's Christianity or whatever, I don't want any government enforcing religion on people. And I'm not saying that's what the caller was suggesting, but I would find that offensive. So, whatever set of religious code that you believe, that's fine. Go ahead. Wash your feet before you do whatever it is you got to do, or put on a towel or whatever, your religious rights are. Go for it. But just don't force other people to try to follow that. Don't force other people to follow your religious beliefs. I mean, that's one of the reasons why the United States has supposedly a separation of church and state, because it was devastatingly tyrannical to have the state enforcing religion on people.
No, the reason was because the states didn't want the conflict between their religions.
There's more coming up here. It's Free Talk Live.
Face it, today's electric power grid is more vulnerable than ever. From natural disasters to EMP attacks and hacking, the grid could be crippled for days or even decades in the most dire scenarios. Visit quantumharvest.net to see our built-to-last EMP-protected solar power systems. While millions suffer, you'll have vital power for water pumps, refrigeration, and sanitation. Now that's peace of mind. EMP-protected solar power systems for every need and budget. See our full range at quantumharvest.net.
Water is the single most important thing your body needs, so you want to be sure it's the best for you and your family. Since 2005, thousands have depended on Berkey purified water. The Berkey Guy provides the lowest priced filtration systems in every size. For incredibly delicious water now and in an emergency, get to GoBerkey.com or call 877-886-3653. 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way.
You can do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me.
Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa, Hey, who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today. This is...
You ain't gonna make it.
Wait a minute. Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable! Why are you running from me? Because you're scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this?
Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up in any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
The three most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are: 1, share one episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2, buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3, give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website, fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper, FPP News, at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. We invite you to take control of the airwaves here. Bring up whatever is on your mind. Our number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. 855-450-3733. Joining you tonight, you've got Ian.
And Mark.
And, of course, you can bring up whatever you want. That's the point of the program. We've also got Skype at Skype username LRN.FM. Or call us on the on-air call-in line room of Discord. That is our chat server with rooms available around the clock. Usually there's people in the Free Talk Live room during the live hours of the show, but there's frequently conversation there before, during, and after Free Talk Live. So head over to discord.lrn.fm, and there's apps available for just about any phone, as well as your favorite operating system, Linux, Mac, Windows, your choice. Just go to discordapp.com to get the app and then install it, get your username created, and then go to discord.lrn.fm on your web browser, and that should jump you right into our chat server. So Ian and Mark here with you. Also, you need to know about how to get some good sleep at night. My Pillow might be the key. If you've been having a tough time with sleeping, then change out your pillow and see if that makes a difference.
Headaches, too. Yeah. If your head's held at the wrong angle, that can give you headaches.
Yeah, this isn't a big investment that could result in a big change for you. So go to mypillow.com, use code FTL, and you'll get your MyPillow at half price. And if for some reason you don't like it, you have a 60-day window of time to decide whether or not you want to send the pillow back. And if you do, then they'll go ahead and send you back your purchase price. But if you are like us and you decide to keep it, then you will have a 10-year warranty backing up the MyPillow. And importantly, it's washable. This is something they designed it to be usable for. You can wash it, you can dry it, and good luck finding pillows that do that. I'd never heard of such a thing before MyPillow. I love it. I have washed mine so far. I've only done it once, though. I probably should do it again.
I wash mine pretty regularly. Yeah.
But it's pretty great. MyPillow.com with code FTL for half off. As we continue with your calls and your thoughts, we go to Indiana, where Brian is on the line listening to WIBC FM. Hello, Brian.
Hey, how we doing?
Welcome. You're on the air.
I was just wanting to bring up several times tonight you've sit there and brought up, and I'm not saying that I agree with him. It's just several times you've brought up tonight about Donald Trump changing his mind on Syria.
Yeah.
And the only thing I wanted to bring up was politicians, people, everything, they've constantly changed their mind. It's been brought up a million times about Hillary Clinton changing her mind on gay and lesbian marriages and everything. That's been brought up a million times over as well. So, I mean, it's just people do that all the time.
Sure,
so
yeah, people are certainly free to change their mind. You're right about that. That's true.
It's just that to some extent, Trump ran as the not politician. I'm from outside. I'm going to go in there and I'm going to fix that stuff.
Drain the swamp.
And to some extent, people, his shtick was he's not going to do what the rest of them did, and he's doing what the rest of them did. I will say, I like Trump for a couple of things that he's done, but nonetheless, and believe me, he was higher on my list than Clinton was. Not to say I voted for him, I didn't, but that's kind of where I'm at. Is like I really wish this guy would stay the heck out of the Middle East.
I absolutely agree. That's what I'm saying. I'm not saying that I agree with his changing of his mind and everything like that. I was just bringing up the fact that it seems like people in general change their mind all the time.
And that's not a bad thing necessarily. I mean, We want to persuade people to change their minds. Like on this show, we'd love to have many of our audience who believes in the ideas of the state and believes in using violence, aggressive violence, to coerce their neighbors to behave in the way that they want. We'd love for people to change their minds and say, yeah, you know what? You guys are right about that. We shouldn't be using aggressive force on our neighbors. We should be using persuasion. So it's important to be able to help people change their minds through the use of persuasive tactics. But that's why I asked the question is, what was it that changed his mind exactly? Was it, some puppet masters that are pulling strings? Is there a certain video of him taking a dump on a prostitute that he doesn't want to get released? I mean, is it blackmail? Is it, what was it that did, or is it just that he feels like now the circumstances are exactly right to where he can go against what he'd said in the past? I mean, I'd love to hear his explanation for it, because a lot of time when somebody changes their mind, they can tell you why.
Yeah, and I agree 100%. I'd love to know the reason why as well and everything, because I'm a big proponent to we leave other people alone.
Right.
I want to be left alone, leave other people alone. I'm all for that.
That's the key.
I would love to hear that as well. I would love to hear the reason behind it as well. I was just bringing up the fact that, people change their mind all the time. I would love to hear the fact, because it's costing us millions. It's probably cost lives and everything over there. We'll probably never know how many innocent people may have just been killed last night and everything. So, just stuff like that. But,
I totally share your concerns, and I appreciate the call tonight, Brian. Thanks for making it. I definitely appreciate hearing from you. I mean, it's definitely true. People can change their minds. It's in a lot of cases, a good thing. If they change their minds in a direction toward peace. Unfortunately, that's not what happened in this particular case. And, I know that Donald Trump is supposed to be meeting at some point with Kim Jong-un. I think that's a good thing. I don't think, obviously it could go south, it could go bad, but the relations between North Korea and the United States have been pretty bad for a long time. And he would be the first sitting U.S. president to actually meet with one of the Kims. I don't know when. I don't know when the last time something like that happened.
Nor I. But I mean,
I know Jimmy Carter went over there after the fact.
He's done more to bring him to the table than anybody else has.
Who, Trump or Carter?
Trump.
Okay. So, yeah, I mean, I think that that's a good thing. That's a little bit of diplomacy. That's, going in the right direction. Dropping bombs, not so much. And, of course, as our caller earlier pointed out, there's plenty of bad guys in the world, and Kim Jong-un is, presiding over basically death slave camps in North Korea that have existed since the time of his grandfather, that have been torturing innocent people who might have simply just tried to leave the country, leave the prison state of North Korea. They'll put your family members in those prison camps. So even people who didn't have anything to do, if you try to escape from North Korea, if you're North Korean born, you try to escape and they catch you, or even if they don't catch you, they'll put your family in a death prison camp, in a starving forced labor camp. And they will be, lucky if they can pick the corn, the undigested corn, out of, dog S or something like that in order to get a little bit more sustenance in their meals. And I'm not exaggerating on that.
Certainly those stories are out there.
Yeah. It's horrible.
There's not much that can be done about it. I don't know what else.
Nothing besides a total invasion and takeover of that country, unless you can persuade Kim Jong-un to stop the madness. And there's only one way you can do that, which is to sit down and, have some kind of a talk with the guy and, try to build some sort of bridges. Because what else can you really do in that circumstance? If you invade the country, more innocent people are going to die. So, you're stuck between a rock and a very ugly, hard place. It's terrible. Anyway, let's go on here. David is on the line. He's in San Francisco. David, you're on Free Talk Live. Go ahead.
Yeah, how are you? I'm kind of struck by the simplicity of what Trump's actions in Syria are. If you think about some federal, not necessarily a federal, but more like an international investigative body, like Interpol. Interpol does investigations of all sorts of crimes across national boundaries. And so they're sort of like the world's FBI. And if you have war between two countries, then Interpol can't get anything done. How do you get the investigators in to get the files, get to review all sorts of cases and data? Mm-hmm. So with Trump and the investigation of Trump, what's his motivation for creating a war and to ruin diplomatic relationships between the various countries, but to do, a staged event like this Syrian bombing? And I think that the reason why the British got involved was because it's getting pretty apparent that, Cambridge Analytica is not just a private institution, but that they're probably more like an MI6, like the CIA of the British.
And that's the company that Facebook was working with, right?
Yeah,
Cambridge.
supposedly they didn't get very much good information, though.
David, thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate it. The toll-free number here, 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. So you're suggesting that it's basically a distraction to get away from the Facebook news? I don't know. You can tell your story. Tell us about whatever's on your mind. To take control of the airwaves, it's Free Talk Live.
Zencash is an end-to-end encrypted system with zero-knowledge technology over which communications, data, or value can be securely transmitted and stored. With over 7,500 secure nodes, Zencash has one of the most distributed node systems of any cryptocurrency. Zencash is a platform for cryptocurrency and communications built by voluntarists for voluntarists, with the ideas of voluntary interaction being written into the white paper no less than half a dozen times. Learn more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com.
Cancer categorizes over 100 diseases. Though we do not diagnose, treat, or cure cancer, GCN team is offering the Clemson University study where there was up to a 95% reduction in cancerous cells when exposed to a plant-derived mineral supplement. If you or a loved one are searching for answers to this horrifying disease, come to GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. We'll email you a copy for free. That's 877-878-4203.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
Some of our live shows are streamed in HD on Twitch. Please follow and share at twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
It is Free Talk Live. You can bring up anything here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And did you know you can watch the show? Yeah, we actually have cameras here in the studio. We have for a long time. But earlier this year, we made the switch over to a different streaming platform because YouTube, well, they didn't treat us real nice. But we're still technically on YouTube, but on a low resolution feed of like 360p, very, very low res, compared to Twitch, where you can get us in 720p HD quality. It's probably the highest quality method of watching and listening to the show. Twitch.lrn.fm is going to take you directly to our channel on Twitch. And that is where you can watch us when we're live, which is 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 at night Eastern Time. You can also watch archive shows on Twitch, but they only go back for about 2 weeks because Twitch is mostly a live streaming platform, and so they're not like an archive everything forever platform like YouTube is. So again, if you want to watch us live or a little bit later, you can go to twitch.lrn.fm. And there's also a Twitch chat room in there. Sometimes it's not as busy in the chat room on Twitch as it is on our Discord chat, but there are people in there frequently, so go check it out.
I think the Discord chat at discord.freetalklive.com or discord.lrn.fm.
I think I set them both up, Mark, but just because the LRN one's shorter, that's the one I like to give out. But yeah, the Discord chat is definitely where it's at. There's chatters in there every single night.
Lots of them.
The Twitch chat's more off and on, probably more off than on, but there's usually some folks there. So check that out. Go to twitch.lrn.fm. You can watch us in Twitch and chat in Discord. You don't have to do one or the other. So be sure you check that out. It is one of the myriad of free features on our website at freetalklive.com. As we continue, we'll take your calls and thoughts here, talking about the American tyranny around the globe. Eric, you're on the line in Virginia. Go ahead.
Hey guys, how you doing?
Hey, what's on your mind?
You guys were talking about North Korea earlier, and it just made me start thinking. What do you guys think? Why do you guys think that? I can't think of the college kid's name. Something Bierman, or the college kid who stole. He was
Otto
in one of the hotels. I'm sorry.
Otto.
That was his name.
Yeah, Otto.
Something. Yeah.
Warmbier.
Yeah, beer wine
right.
or something.
Yeah,
right.
Warmbier.
Right.
Yeah, it could be right.
Why do you think? Right. Why do you guys think his parents didn't want to release the autopsy reports? I mean,
that's news to me.
To my understanding, they didn't want to. They chose not to. Unless I'm wrong, but I can swear that they chose not to release the autopsy reports because, based on my understanding, they pretty much beat him within an inch of his life, sent him over here, and then he died.
That's
so
right.
It's like, right, that he died. So I'm thinking, well, I mean, I can understand from a privacy standpoint. Yeah, I get it, and I'm sure it's hard enough to deal with it as it is. But I'm thinking, what if they used some kind of poisonous gas? You know what I mean? Like, I just thought it was odd that they decided not to release the autopsy reports. Like I said, I could be wrong, but
just a quick quick search.
At the request of Warmbier's family, an autopsy was not performed.
On a quick search here, there is a story from September of last year where they did talk about the condition. His father, Fred, said at the time, quote, "Using the term coma for Otto's condition is completely unfair. Otto had severe brain damage. Otto was systematically tortured and intentionally injured by Kim Jong-un and his regime. This was no accident." So they did talk to some extent about the damage that was done.
Yeah, but he wouldn't allow, but an autopsy wasn't performed. This same guy who makes these claims then doesn't go through the steps to prove those claims. That seems weird to me.
Okay, so my mistake. So
it's not a mistake.
It's not about. He didn't even have an autopsy. They just decided they declined to even get an autopsy. Okay, well that's even more strange.
It is unusual. But is it possible they just wanted to move on and not dwell on the horrifying things that happened to their son?
Is it possible that they believe that space aliens would come and get them if they performed an autopsy? I don't know. I mean,
your son came home injured and damaged from his time in a North Korean prison. Do you really need to know all the different ways he was poisoned and stabbed or whatever it was that happened, internal rupturing and bleeding? You really need that? Do you? Okay.
Yes, you do.
Okay.
I mean, if you want to make claims about what happened, we have no idea what happened to Otto Warmbier because
he came back basically dead. That's what you need to know.
Did.
I mean, maybe they felt like they knew enough.
What if he had some kind of aneurysm? I don't know.
No, I see what you're saying, but regardless, Eric, anything else you want to throw out there tonight?
No, I was just curious, gentlemen.
Thanks for the point, Eric.
Okay?
Yeah, thanks for the call, man. I appreciate hearing from you. The toll-free number, 855-450-FREE. Since we're talking about North Korea, there is a story out about a young lady who managed to escape. The Mirror has the story, quote, "I will tell the world what North Korea is like," unquote. Escapee tortured for 25 days lifts the lid on Kim Jong-un's brutal regime. As a child, she saw people tied to poles and executed. As a teenager, Danbi got caught smuggling and was tortured for 25 days.
Jeez.
Against all odds, she escaped to tell her story. No child should be subjected to the sight Danbi Kim endured, watching in horror as 4 men and 2 women were executed in front of her. Aged just 10 at the time, Danbi was among thousands summoned to witness soldiers dispassionately end the lives of would-be deserters from North Korea. Years later, Danbi would herself feel the wrath of the cruel regime, suffering inhuman torture for 25 days. And today she spells out the grim and gruesome reality of life in the secretive nation now ruled by power-mad Kim Jong-un. Recalling the executions, Danbi, now 26, says, quote, 4 men and 2 women were tied to wooden poles and pleading for mercy. Executioners wrapped their bodies in plastic sheets and put stones in their mouths. She says, I heard the clapping sound of shots, saw their agonized struggle, then stillness amongst the blood. I was so deeply traumatized by what I saw that I couldn't eat for days. Danbi is speaking out after fleeing North Korea in her late teens. Her brother, a police officer, hasn't been seen for years after being thrown into a political prison. While Danbi grew up in an era when Jong-un's father, Kim Jong-il, ruled, North Korea remains as secretive as ever. World leaders aren't left guessing Jong-un's next move as he issues nuclear threats and trades insults with U.S. President Donald Trump. Danbi says, quote, the world knows hardly anything of North Korea beyond propaganda films. We will only learn from real stories from people who lived there. She continued saying, until my last breath, I will carry on working to tell the inside story of North Korea in the name of my lost brother, unquote. She grew up in the Haisan in Ryanggang province. Her father managed a state museum, and her family were given good rations during the 1990s famine, which left more than 2 million dead. She has, which, by the way, for the listeners that are unfamiliar, the famine in the 1990s, of course, was brought on by communism, in the fact that the state
communism's imaginary,
right? Well, socialism, and the fact that the state was in charge of everything, including the food structure there and all of the industries. And so when one thing failed, other things failed. And of course, it was generally, as far as distribution, factories failing, production failing. It's just a cascading set of failures that led to mass starvation in that country. And ultimately, they only got out of it because of essentially food handouts from other nations. That's basically what kept people alive. She has happy childhood memories of playing on the mountains and eating wild strawberries, but that joy and those freedoms were short-lived. School years were darkened by having to bribe teachers, endure forced labor in fields, and suffer nonstop indoctrination demanded by the ruling Kim family. When she was 13, her father fell into debt, and Danbi vowed to help her parents and her 2 older brothers. Haisan is a smuggling haven because of its close proximity to the Chinese border, which at parts is only 10 meters across a shallow river. Danbi started selling mountain herbs and then worked as a mule for more established smugglers. She says, quote, as well as making money for my family, smuggled DVDs woke me up to the rest of the world. I stayed up all night.
Imagine what it's like living, these places and knowing nothing and then getting these DVDs of this greater world out there. It must look like Star Trek.
She says, I stayed up all night, immersed in South Korean films, blinds drawn because it's illegal to watch anything other than the state news. I glimpsed freedom in the wider world, girls talking to boys, women with highlighted hair and blue jeans. In North Korea, girls were expected to be subservient. Wearing anything other than conservative North Korean clothing meant we'd be stopped by the youth brigade and interrogated. Why are you wearing the clothes of the imperial... I'm not sure, something is asterisked out there. B and then a bunch of asterisks and then S?
Bourgeoisie.
Oh, okay. Maybe. What is Kim Il-sung's birth date? Answering incorrectly saw us hit on the head.
thighs, or buttocks and reported to parents, school, or police.
As though knowing his birthdays. It's crazy.
The DVD showed me women elsewhere had freedom to change their looks and clothes, express their personalities. It was the biggest revelation of my life. So there's some perspective for you. That's how oppressed these people are. There's certain haircuts that are approved in North Korea. And same thing of clothing. Donby built up a network of trusted people in China and would fill tractor inner tubes with contraband and drag the load across the river. She smuggled anything from USB sticks and hair tongs to tracksuits and black jeans. She helped to arrange reunions for long-lost families. And there's a little bit more here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And, of course, her story isn't unusual. There are a lot of, really sad and harrowing stories of some of the escapees from North Korea. Hour 3's on the way. It's Free Talk Live.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees, ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Saturday, April 14th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.66 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,345 per ounce. Zen Cash is trading at $31, and the average price of Bitcoin is $7,978. Antiwar.com reports mere minutes after President Trump announced that he had ordered the U.S. to attack Syria. Reports began emerging from Syria's capital of Damascus that an air war is starting over the city. Explosions had been reported in eastern Damascus, and locals described smoke rising from the area. Within Syria, there is reporting that Syrian air defensives have been fired in and around Damascus, and at least one U.S. missile had been intercepted. Reuters reported there were rumors of a U.S. strike hitting a housing center for the Syrian Scientific Studies and Research Center employees. The SSRC had been sanctioned by the U.S. Treasury Department for involvement in chemical weapons. There are unconfirmed reports of civilian casualties in Damascus. Air defenses are reportedly active in several locations around Syria now. Unconfirmed preliminary reports are that some of the missiles were fired from Jordan, and the Syrian coast is thus far quiet. U.S. planes and ships are said to be involved. Quiet on the coast may not be for long, however. With both Britain and France joining the operation, there are already reports of British warplanes taking off from Cyprus, presumably part of the attack. French and British naval assets have been en route to the area for several days.
You can support FPP Radio by shopping online. Whether you're looking for precious metals or books, you'll find that and more at shop.fppradio.com. Every purchase you make from one of my affiliates, like Namecheap and Amazon, at shop.fppradio.com helps fund FPP Radio. Or you can shop directly from FPP with Bitcoin in the Bitcoin store. That's shop.fppradio.com. UPI reports a federal judge in Philadelphia has ruled that limousine drivers for Uber Technologies are independent contractors and not the company's employees under federal law. The first ruling of its kind on a crucial issue for the ride-hailing company. District Judge Michael Belson on Wednesday said San Francisco-based Uber does not exert enough control over drivers for the limo service, Uber Black, to be considered their employees under the Federal Fair Labor Standards Act. The drivers work when they want and are free to nap, run personal errands, or smoke cigarettes in between rides. The legal classification of workers has been a major issue for the so-called gig economy companies that rely on independent contractors. Uber, in particular, has been hit with dozens of lawsuits in recent years claiming that its drivers are employees and are entitled to minimum wage, overtime, and other legal protections not afforded to independent contractors. An Uber spokeswoman said the company is pleased with the decision. Many of the cases filed against Uber have been sent to arbitration, but the plaintiffs in the Philadelphia case were among a small minority of drivers who had opted not to sign arbitration agreements with the company. Jeremy Abbey, a lawyer for the plaintiff, said he would appeal the ruling to the Philadelphia-based 3rd U.S. Circuit Court of Appeals. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals. Gold, silver, platinum, and palladium. They don't feed the banks. They're Bitcoin preferred and have removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports Blaine Salamone, the Baton Rouge, Louisiana police officer who fatally shot Alton Sterling, appealed his dismissal with the Civil Service Board, according to his lawyers. Police Chief Murphy Paul announced Salamone's firing in March, along with disciplinary action against another officer, Howie Lay II. At the time, police also released footage of the body cameras the two officers wore the night of Sterling's shooting. The graphic videos of the 2016 shooting show Lake was the first to arrive at a convenience store after police received reports of a man matching Sterling's description, selling CDs and threatening another man with a gun. Salamone arrived a short time later and immediately yelled at Sterling, "Don't bleeping move or I'll shoot you in the bleeping head." Police shot Sterling twice with a taser before he fell to the ground. On the ground, Sterling appeared to struggle again, and one officer yells that he's found a gun while searching Sterling. Salamone then fired 6 shots, killing Sterling. John McLendon, Salamone's lawyer, said he appealed to the Municipal Fire and Police Civil Service Board, which oversees personnel issues with the police department. The appeal says the termination was not made in good faith and for cause and calls for a public hearing. The Civil Service Board is comprised of 3 civilians, a representative of the police department, and a representative from the fire department. This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
A new teen trend of walking wet and nude couldn't have caught on at a worse time, and a taxpayer is outraged. And lo, the Lord said unto the Israelites, Look unto the heavens, and you shall see a news review program to rival the greatest wonders of the earth. This is the Onion Week in Review. As a front of dense frigid air and snow showers brought sub-zero temperatures to much of the country this week, Canton, Ohio residents noted that the blanketing of snow they had received created the illusion that their town was not a total shithole. Residents added that unlike its typical depressing reality, the snow-cloaked town actually looked halfway livable.
Canton is usually a miserable little dump, but you know when that first snow fell and covered everything in a layer of white powder? For about 5 minutes it was like not everything I saw depressed the living out of me.
Reports from locals also confirmed that for a brief period, the streets, parks, and buildings around them gave the surprising impression of not being a run-down, heartbreaking excuse for a hometown.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can dial toll-free to take control of the airwaves here. You can bring up anything that you want. We're launching into the 3rd hour of the live Saturday edition. With you tonight, it's Ian.
And Mark.
And we started out the show talking about Donald Trump completely going against old Donald Trump and going ahead and dropping bombs in Syria, even though there's about 40 or 50 different tweets that he's made over the last few years saying, don't do that stuff. Don't invade Syria, United States, especially when Barack Obama was president. But apparently when he does it, it's totally fine. So that's where we started up and ended up talking about North Korea and international relations, U.S. militarization, and the U.S. Kind of world policing and all of that. Of course, as liberty-minded people, as libertarians and voluntarists, we are against the police state, and we're against the world police state as well, run by the U.S. military. Bring the troops home, I think, would be the first best step, and get them out of the 1,000-plus military bases that they currently occupy around the globe.
I bet they'd like that, too.
They probably would, yeah. And then, so like I said, we ended up talking about North Korea, and I started a brief story from the Mirror over in the UK about a young lady who ended up being tortured after being caught for smuggling things like DVDs and flash drives with videos on them into North Korea. There's a little more to her story, but let's go back to your calls and thoughts here. We've got Edwin. He's listening in Virginia to WNIS. Go ahead, Edwin.
It was just right before the break there was a guy asking about the Warmbier family not doing the autopsy. And then there's a medical reason for not doing it. Because his injuries had been more than a year he's been in a coma in North Korea. The autopsy would reveal kind of the order that his organs failed, but since he was in the U.S. under treatment, they already knew what was going wrong. But it wouldn't have been able to reveal the things that happened a year ago. His body just had too much time to heal and recover. So the evidence that you're intimating that would exist just wouldn't have existed at that point in time.
Okay. Right, so there was some question for listeners just tuning in. Otto Warmbier was the young man in college who went to North Korea on some sort of a trip and pulled down a banner of some sort at the hotel that he was at, propaganda banner likely. He probably just wanted to keep it or was drunk at the time. Who knows what he was thinking. They ended up putting him into some sort of a prison camp, and he ended up, as you're pointing out, going into a coma, and then eventually they let him back to the United States where he promptly died basically shortly after arrival. And the question was, well, why didn't his parents want an autopsy? And you're saying it wouldn't have revealed anything anyway if they had. So what's the point?
Yeah, they would have been able to count the number of bones that were broken and that kind of stuff, and note scar tissue. But they could do all that stuff. I mean, that was likely already done when they're trying to figure out what was wrong with him.
I mean, like I said, your son was tortured in North Korea. Do you really want to know all of the different ways that he was tortured? Is that going to bring you some kind of peace?
Yeah, I mean, I think if they could have made a point politically to internationally throw North Korea more under the bus, they probably would have. But I just don't think the medical evidence was going to be available because it had been so long since he was tortured.
Thank you for that, Edwin. Anything else you want to share tonight?
No, that's good. Just thought I'd throw it out there.
I appreciate the info, and thank you for the call tonight. The toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE, like freedom. Let's go to William. He's in Arkansas. William, you're on Free Talk Live with Ian and Mark.
Yes, sir. Can you hear me okay?
We got you loud and clear. Go ahead.
Okay. I spent 32 years, 4 months, and 4 days in the United States Army as an Army chaplain. And I've been to China. I've been to North Korea.
Really?
And I know you folks keep saying we need to talk to these people. We've been talking to them for 50 years.
North Korea? Not really.
Yes, we have. Because remember the Korean War? Can you remember that?
I wasn't around for it.
I wasn't in the Korean War, but we talked then. You're not going to change those people's minds by talking to them. I was allowed to see the North Koreans.
South Korea and North Korea used to be the same country, right?
Yes, I do, sir.
So are those the same, those people, or are they now different people in the South Korea?
No. I apologize for saying those people. I will start to say North Korean.
And so by North Korea, you mean you can't change the mind of Kim Jong-un and his party adherents, not necessarily that you couldn't change the mind of the North Korean people, right? Because obviously those people's minds have been changed. We were just reading an article to you about a young lady who had her mind opened by being able to watch pirated movies and television shows from South Korea.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Most of the North Koreans that I had come in contact with didn't like the regime over there.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't like it. They wanted out.
Right.
But that's a dictatorship there.
Right. So now we've whittled down those people to exclude South Koreans and most North Koreans and only include the administrative Communist Party.
Let me ask you this. I'm
glad we were able to do that.
It looks like North Korea would like to team back up with South Korea, and South Korea would certainly like to team back up with North Korea. Obviously, they have different ideas about how that would go down. But is there some possibility of this country ever coming back together again? I mean, how could that possibly happen?
Okay, I only was over there for 27 days. I was only over there 27 days.
All right.
But I was able to visit some of the Americans kept in the penitentiaries and lockdowns around that country.
Around North Korea?
I never at North Korea, yes, sir.
How were you able to get that access?
Because I was an Army chaplain.
Huh. Okay.
I was a high-ranked Army chaplain. Now, I'm telling you, my friend, that you are not going to change that regime by talking to them. There's two things that I really, really learned from being a chaplain in the United States Army. You can't save the world because the world don't want to be saved.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes people just need a whooping. And that regime, they're not going to quit.
Who would Jesus whoop? That's what I want to know as an Army chaplain.
Jesus whoop?
Yeah.
Oh, you can't remember what Jesus did when he came into the temple?
To tax
you can't
collectors.
remember the story of him knocking. Yeah, you can't remember him knocking the table over and doing
That's
that
a little
kind
different,
of thing.
right?
Jesus did that to Sadducees. He did that to his own countrymen that were attempting to rob his own people.
Did.
The United States military has not done that for me.
Okay, the United States military is governed by politicians.
I know that.
Right.
And now I got orders at times that I knew came from the president. I knew they did. But they weren't given to me by the president. But I knew they were given by the president. And just like Japan during the Second World War, that country was not going to give up. When they invaded China, a lot of people don't even know about it. But between 80,000 and 100,000 Chinese women were raped and murdered.
That's the rape of Nanking, yeah.
Yep, they were by regular soldiers, by privates and sergeants, corporals, and they were never taken to court for war crimes.
No,
and they weren't.
We were really on the cusp of the end of empire there at the beginning of World War II, and I think that Japan, by and large, I think people understood Japan was really just doing the things that it saw. When it saw what Belgium did in Congo, when it saw what the United States did in the Philippines, what it saw with Great Britain going with the Boxer Rebellion in China, the Opium Wars, and all these other things, all Japan was doing what it had seen.
Like monkey see, monkey do? That
Yeah,
kind of thing?
I mean, it understood that on the world stage you mattered if you had an empire. And so, we're Asian. Let's have an Asian empire. Made perfectly good sense to them.
But Japan wasn't going to give up. They knew they were going to lose the war. They knew it was coming to an end.
Yeah, they had honor. That's for sure. Yeah.
Because it was a pride to them. It was an award to who they were to die. Now, I had been to Japan several different times, but never during the war there. And there are still Japanese people bothered.
We're losing you, William. I thank you for the call tonight. I appreciate hearing from you. Toll-free number if you want to join us, 855-450-FREE, like freedom, 855-450-3733. International conflicts, what's the best solution?
She seems happier. Her fur is so much shinier, silkier, softer. She has really mellowed a lot.
Sheba is 105 lean pounds of shiny, smooth, happy dog. For life.
The shedding has stopped. The itching has stopped.
Since 2001, we've helped more than 250,000 dogs get over their nutritional deficiency miseries.
And saved our customers bazillions in vet bills.
Everything
we tried failed, except the Dinovite.
Come to Dinovite for help.
DINOVITE.com.
If you want the dog to be healthy, you got to feed it something healthy.
The omega-3 fatty acids, flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa, the digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food.
Dinovite is nutrition.
Dinovite for life.
Don't let your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy.
Come to Dinovite for help.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000.
DINOVITE.com.
What's more profitable, running your business or doing bookkeeping? Doing your business, of course, but you want to keep your books so that you can maximize your tax savings, right? What if I told you that there's a person that's a bookkeeper, accountant, and law school graduate that's also a hardcore libertarian?
My name is Melanie Johnson, and I hate the state. I will aggressively help you to minimize your tax exposure and maximize profits, all while staying within the law.
Melanie's your best choice for your taxes and bookkeeping needs. Go to tax.freetalklive.com and check out our website, tax.freetalklive.com. I've said it many times on air, and I'll say it here. The New Hampshire Liberty Alliance is one of the most important organizations for freedom in the world. New Hampshire is ground zero for freedom, and the NHLA is the best organization at promoting effective liberty activism. This ad is sponsored by Free Talk Live, and I, Mark Edge, am a lifetime member because I believe in the NHLA. Please check them out at nhliberty.org. Not everyone can move right now, but you can support the cause. Donate top cryptocurrencies or old-fashioned U.S. dollars, nhliberty.org. Visit their website and see what they're all about, nhliberty.org.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
Hi, this is Mark Edge of Free Talk Live. Michael W. Dean's book, User's Manual for the Human Experience, changed my life. In a culture that attempts to turn you into a compliant victim, this book gives you implementable steps on everything from how to be aware of your environment, walking down the street, to business, to how to handle a toxic person in your life. If you're a human, you need to read this book at least once. Go to Amazon and get the Kindle version, or paperback, or an audiobook of A User's Manual for the Human Experience.
Love what we do? Please help support our international satellite channels at patreon.lrn.fm. That's patreon.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can bring up whatever you want to discuss. The live Saturday edition of the show with you here tonight. You've got Ian.
And Mark.
And you can join us online. Just head over to freetalklive.com and enjoy all the features that we share with you there. We're big fans of cryptocurrency here on Free Talk Live, and Zencash is one you really ought to know something about. If you consider yourself a freedom-friendly person, if you're a liberty-minded individual, you really ought to know about Zencash because people like you, voluntarists, actually founded Zencash. In fact, they wrote voluntarism right into the white paper. You can see it for yourself over at zencash.com. On top of the philosophy that founded Zencash, you've also got some of the best technology out there, like zero-knowledge anonymity for privacy. So Zencash is one of the privacy coins out there, and they've also got messaging encryption as well. So you can actually use it for money and messages, and they're looking to make it useful for distributing media in the future. So go to zencash.com and learn more about it. You'll find out they've got more than 8,000 secure nodes, meaning Zencash is one of the most secure networks of any cryptocurrency on the planet. Go and learn more and do your due diligence. at zencash.com. Let's go to Larry. He's in Indianapolis listening to WIBC. Go ahead, Larry. You're on Free Talk Live.
I don't see how people can talk about what other countries do to their citizens. If they get done wrong enough, they can have a revolt and save themselves. I mean, nobody is coming over here bombing America when they normalize heroin usage and count heroin as an opioid, when they guard the opium fields in Afghanistan with our troops so that they can be processed and shipped here for what purpose? To be sold and normalized. So we need to leave people alone. And the story about the young girl, I mean, what does she want to look to America for? So she can see Jay-Z, so she can see Beyonce, so she can see the one porn star, and so forth. I mean, we need to stop taking our Stormy Daniels, yeah. We need to stop exporting our filth all around the world.
Okay, so I agree with some of what you've said. I do agree with the idea
don't
that...
cut me off, please.
I'm not cutting you off. I do agree with the idea that Americans should militarily keep to themselves. Ultimately, if there's a bad guy running some country somewhere and torturing people, then let the people uprise, let them throw that person out, like is probably going to eventually happen in Venezuela, hopefully sooner rather than later, with Nicolas Maduro there. But usually these bad characters tend to run their course, and then some sort of uprising happens, Arab Spring or whatever it is we're talking about, that the U.S. doesn't need to get involved. It's hard for people to look at that, and because it takes a long time for these things to happen, they want something to happen sooner, in which case I would say, again, keep the military and the government out of it and let individuals help out in the way they want to. So there are ways that individuals can help by donating money to certain causes that they agree with. I mentioned last night, I think it was, Liberty in North Korea, which is a great organization that does help escapees from North Korea find new places to live, escape from North Korea without detection, and, helps with propaganda campaigns to smuggle things into North Korea, like data, videos on flash drives and things like that. They're a great organization, and so you can give them money, you can give them volunteer time, and find other groups that are involving themselves in helping people in the countries that you find the most shocking or interesting or the most demanding of assistance. But to demand that the U.S. military and bureaucracy get involved in bombings and killings, that's not going to ultimately, violence, I don't think, is going to be the solution. So that part I agree with you on there, Larry. What else did you want to say? Go ahead.
I mean, but what would you want to somebody like Kim Jong-un, a stupid little man who has about the chance of a gnat flying over here dropping a nuclear bomb on us? All they're doing is vilifying him so that they can have something to waste our money on.
That's true.
Kim Jong-un, Onion Moon, that's what I call him.
Onion Moon?
If they would leave, Onion Moon, that's why I've seen him a couple times.
Okay.
They need to leave him alone and tell him, hey, look, buddy, you do whatever you want to do to your own people. You test your bombs, and when your people get tired enough of being starved to death, then they'll revolt and take their country back. Just like Mexico, just like Nicaragua, just like Venezuela, like you said, all those people, you have to fight to be free. Just because we won't do it, then we can't receive everybody that wants to come here that benefit economically off of our infrastructure that we have set up. They need to fight for their own freedom and make their own escape and stay in their country and take their countries back over. But as far as going to war...
Well, I'll disagree with you there. I think that people who can escape from a dastardly evil regime should absolutely be able to come to the United States and make a better life for themselves, because there's plenty of room here, Larry. We got plenty
why don't they go
of
to
space.
Hades? Why
don't they go to Detroit?
Hades in Cuba.
Why don't they go to Detroit?
I mean, because they've not bought into our system. They've not helped build Detroit in any way. I mean...
How are they going to help build it until they get there? Thanks for the call tonight, Larry. Toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We have had a bit of a couple of xenophobic callers here tonight, the fear of immigrants. And the fact is the United States was built by immigrants, built by people who tend to be more entrepreneurial. The immigrant types, even still through today, immigrants to the United States are more likely than native-born turn people by a significant factor, if I recall correctly, to be entrepreneurial types, to people who want to start their own business up.
They'll sacrifice so that their kids have a better life. It's the kids of the immigrants, us, that have the expectation that everything's going to be given to them.
Spoiled.
That's. Now, I don't think for a second that any immigrant should be given, freebies. I think if you give away freebies,
no, that's welfare. We're opposed to welfare.
Yeah, if you give away freebies, you're going to get the kind of people that want freebies.
Right.
If you give away, if you just give people an opportunity to build a better life for themselves, you're going to get the kind of people that want to build a better life for themselves, and in the process, they will build a stronger, more productive nation. Right now, this economy stagnated at less than 2% GDP growth per year, and you want to see increases? I can tell you how. Start trading out losers in this country for winners and from other countries, and you'll see a big old change right off.
Absolutely true. Let's go to Dave. He's in Indianapolis listening to WIBC-FM. Hello, Dave.
Hello, hippies.
Hi, Dave.
Hey, is the line coming through pretty clear? Because the call screener said I was cutting out.
You're all right right now.
First off, I wanted to thank you for cutting off Larry. And I wanted to disagree with you about immigration here. Maybe we agree, maybe we disagree, but I'll throw this out there.
All right.
What we don't need in this country, if we wanted to fix the quote-unquote illegal problem, okay, we should basically not give anybody food stamps, unemployment, you name it. It's the welfare. It's the magnet that we need to get rid of. We can build a wall. That's all good and everything.
No,
but
a wall's not good.
Constitution,
but ending welfare, I agree with you, is a good idea.
Yeah,
because the wall's going to keep you in.
You don't need to build a wall if you just cut out all the freebies. Look, people sometimes move for better wages and sometimes they won't. Look at Mississippi versus New York City. The wage gap is tremendous, but you don't see everybody in rural Mississippi moving to urban New York.
No, not at all.
I'll take my gun rights and a little bit less on my paycheck. But yeah, if you look in the Constitution, can either of you find food stamps, education, housing, retirement?
Nope.
Unemployment benefits? Can you find any of that?
No, and I wouldn't support it even if it was in the Constitution because I don't support forced wealth redistribution. Dave, if you had more, you can hang, but probably not. Thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate it.
Have a good night.
Yes, sir. The toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE, 855-450-3733. You can take control of the airwaves. This is the live Saturday edition of Free Talk Live with Ian and Mark. Of course, you can join us online at freetalklive.com. Hop into our Discord chat room over at discord.lrn.fm. More coming up.
Hunters, anglers, campers, and survivalists. Get back to nature. Expand your horizons with the highest quality, most versatile, unique slingshots and sling bows on the market at slingbow.com. Slingbow products are compact and models start from just $17.98. They're perfect for your bug-out bag or storing in your vehicle. Give yourself and your loved ones the excitement and tradition of Slingbow, a new frontier in archery and truly modern twist on this primitive survival tool. Feel the thrill only at slingbow.com.
Kiss your credit card debt goodbye. I'm Pharmacist Keith. Dr. Wallach, the Dead Doctors Don't Lie guy, and myself want to show you how to achieve financial peace, creating an extra income that will last for years to come by joining Dr. Wallach's crusade, spreading his message of better health. To learn more, visit radio.recordedvideo.com. That's radio.recordedvideo.com, radio.recordedvideo.com, or call 866-257-3105 for a recorded message.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com. Are you tired of your taxes funding endless occupations around the world? Antiwar.com is run by people who understand that wars abroad become wars at home, wars on our freedoms. Antiwar.com is dedicated to bringing you the latest in news, views, interviews, and reviews from the top movers and shakers in the anti-occupation movement. Antiwar.com has it all, from thorough foreign policy analysis to interviews with whistleblowers who used to run the military-industrial complex. Anti-war, pro-free market. That's antiwar.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
It's Free Talk Live. You may dial toll-free, take control of the airwaves, bring up whatever you want. Our number, 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Tonight, it's Ian.
And Mark.
Skype in if you like. Skype username LRN.FM, or join us on the Discord on-air call-in line over at discord.lrn.fm. And join us in real life for ForkFest 2018. It's the second year of this decentralized camping event. Decentralized meaning there's nobody in charge. There's no tickets to buy. There's no board of directors. There's nobody who's running the thing. It's just 5 days at Rogers Campground, the beautiful White Mountains of New Hampshire, where libertarians are going to be camping, and voluntarists and liberty-loving anarchists, people who care about freedom. We maybe had a couple dozen folks there last year scattered about the campground, so I don't know what to expect this year, but there's talk about, if you go to the ForkFest forum at ForkFest or forum.forkfest.party, or just go to forkfest.party, and you can find the links there to the forum, the chat rooms and such. Somebody's already posted that they're thinking about doing some food vending at this year's ForkFest, which would
be a party.
Which would be a first. Well, I don't know, Mark. I mean, it's going to be fun. I hope. I consider Buzz's Big Gay Dance Party to be a party. I don't know if people hanging out in the woods is a party, but if that's what you consider to be a party, then it will be a party.
I'll be there, so it'll be a party.
So there you go. Wherever Mark is, that's where the party is, apparently. So forkfest.party is where you can go to learn more about it. It's June 14th through the 18th. That's right. It's 2 months away. We are 8-9 weeks out from this thing happening. So now's the time to start planning, figuring out how you're going to get up here to beautiful New Hampshire. It's a perfect excuse to check out this incredible spot where liberty-minded people, voluntarists, libertarians, and such have been coming together for years and combining their efforts so we can actually see some semblance of freedom in our lifetime. So ForkFest is a little slice of that. It's your opportunity to come up and join with others who are like-minded. Go to forkfest.party to learn more and get involved as we continue here with your calls and thoughts. Rob is in Battle Creek, Michigan, listening to WBCK FM. Hello, Rob.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
What's on your mind, dude? Go ahead.
Listen, where'd you guys go to school? You guys go to college?
I went to U of F for a little while.
I went to community college.
I kind of got like a degree in the 12-step program.
Why do you ask? Why does it matter?
Well, I was wondering, I was trying to figure out you guys' way of thinking on things because it's really bizarre to me.
What part is bizarre?
This North Korea stuff. We don't care what the guy does over in North Korea. The United States government doesn't care what he does over there.
Clearly.
What they're worried about, what he's worried about, and the United States is worried about, is if he develops a nuke, he's going to give it to terrorists. That's the big problem right there. Not whether he's got it or not. It's what he does with it after he's built it.
I'm not sure why he would give it to terrorists rather than keep it for, his own usage, but either way, I can understand the concern of a madman hovering over a nuclear device. But then again, we already have that in the United States.
Well, they'll build more than one.
Yeah.
So
you remember those suitcase nukes that we were supposed to be terrified of about a decade ago?
Yeah,
I mean, whatever happened to those things?
Well, they haven't built one yet.
Oh, I heard that there were a whole bunch of them, and they were just, they were slipping out of the control of Russia. They were being sold off to terrorists, a la Winter Soldier.
You're talking about the dirty bomb.
No, I was talking about the suitcase nukes, but all right.
Well, the good news is Kim Jong-un doesn't want to be nuked out of existence either. So there is that, that factor of where madmen even, at least to some extent, would like to continue their mad reign. And so it's unlikely that they're going to, develop and or launch a nuke. And I suspect the talks would be related to that.
I agree. I don't think they'd ever launch either, but that's not going to stop them from building it and selling it. That's all they care about is funds.
Well, they care about eating, too, and to some extent they've had a tough time with food over in North Korea. So there are some things that other countries can do, to influence whether or not they end up having a nuclear program. Like, hey, you want to eat? Stop your nuclear development.
And they're kind of dependent on China, too. I don't think they're going to go and sell it off to terrorists and then risk their loss of their buddies with their relationship with China.
Yeah, China don't care what they do. That's obvious.
But what does where we went to school have anything to do with anything? I mean, I still don't understand that.
Well, some of the stuff you say is pretty bizarre to me on the way you think about things, because and I was figuring, well, maybe they, went to a school where the professors brainwashed them into thinking the way they do.
Oh, no. My opinion has nothing to do with the government education system. I have completely rejected all of the brainwashing that they attempted to do at school because that's government propaganda. I'm a libertarian. I'm a liberty-minded person. I believe that you should be free to live your life how you want, as long as don't use aggressive force against other peaceful people. I mean, that's where all my opinions come from. It's pretty simple, actually.
Yeah, there's some great authors you can read. Murray Rothbard, Friedrich Hayek. You can read Mary Ruwart, Harry Brown. They all deliver the message in a way that, for different people are going to prefer one way or the other. But the message is really consistent. The idea is that you shouldn't aggress against other people and that you should be free to do what you want so long as you keep your word, you don't hurt other people.
Unless
I agree, but think they should take your guns?
Who's going to take your guns and how are they going to do it? I mean, if they come chit-chat with you, then fine. If they want to send a bunch of people with guns to take guns, that's a little weird, isn't it? You think we're liberals, don't you? You think we're American-hating liberals. By God, we're godless heathens over here. No, I believe the free men.
That's what I'm trying to find out.
I'm telling you right now,
that, yeah.
Free men can carry guns. Slaves are disarmed. Now.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
That's what I'm saying, too.
Yeah, I mean, as a liberty-minded person, again, my philosophy is very simple. You should be free to do what you want, which includes carry guns, do drugs, smoke whatever you want to smoke, put whatever you want in your body, and have the things that you want to have. But
as long as you're responsible for those actions.
So long as you don't actually use aggressive force or fraud against other individuals. I mean, it's very simple.
Well, then we agree on that.
Right. Most people who are sensible will agree on that. It's just they don't really know what a libertarian is because a bunch of these hacks out there like Gary Johnson and Glenn Beck have been claiming that they're libertarians and adding a bunch of confusion into to the mix about what it really means. And being a libertarian is the way most people live their lives. That is to say, leaving other people alone to live their lives how they see fit. That's what it's all about. That's what freedom is about. But if you want to have freedom, you have to, if you want to have freedom for yourself, you have to allow others to also be free. So there's like a lot of people that like the idea of gun freedom because that's one of their important freedoms, but they don't like the idea of somebody being able to smoke a joint. And there's some people who want to be able to smoke a joint, but they don't want somebody to have guns. And it's like, hey, you guys can't have any of that stuff until you allow your neighbors to have the things they want to have and to do the things they want to do, to open a business without having to beg some government for permission, or to be able to cross a line in the sand somewhere to travel to a new place without having to ask some government bureaucrat for permission. This is all about freedom when it comes down to it.
Okay, I'm with you, brother.
Thanks, Rob, for the call tonight. I appreciate the call. I appreciate hearing from you. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. And that's the kind of stuff you aren't going to learn in government school.
They don't really have government colleges. There's George Mason University.
All of them are government colleges. What
Hillsdale
are you talking
College.
About? You said they don't have government colleges.
I'm sorry, they don't have Libertarian College. Excuse me.
Yeah, Hillsdale's a conservative college from what I've heard. I don't know if it's libertarian.
It doesn't take government funding. That makes it libertarian.
No, it doesn't. That just means they don't take government funding. If they're not teaching libertarianism, then they're not libertarian. And I don't know. I've never been to Hillsdale College, and neither have you. So we can't really speak to
friends
that.
say that have been there that they say they're rather Christian oriented. But the fact that they don't take government funding makes them voluntary. How's that?
It certainly does. It makes them one of the least objectionable colleges that I've heard of in the United States. So let's continue with your calls and thoughts. Ron is in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, listening to WRNN. Hello, Ron.
Hello. How you doing, guys?
And you're on the air. Go ahead.
I want to talk to you about the useless UN.
Yep. Okay.
Why do we even tolerate these people? Nikki Haley, for a week, tells them what's going on with the gas, with everything else. They don't do anything.
Yeah, what's going on with Trump? Wasn't he?
Put up with him?
Didn't Trump talk against the UN? I mean, how come he hasn't gone ahead and asked to leave the United Nations at this point? If you got more, hang on, Ron. We'll let you make further point in moments on the UN, the United Nations. Toll-free number here, 855-450-FREE like freedom. I tend to agree. We need to have more options, not some one-world government out there. We need to have more choice in the world. More on the way. It's Free Talk Live.
Does your dog itch, scratch, stink, or shed like crazy? Come to Dynovite for help.
Order a 90-day supply of Dynovite.
Everything we tried failed except the Dynovite.
Pick up 2 bottles of Super Mega Fish Oil.
Get the 3rd bottle free. Packed with omega-3, DHA, and EPA fatty acids.
Super Mega is great for your dog's immune system, healthy skin, and soft, shiny fur.
Dogs love it. Try Super Omega Fish Oil.
Buy 2, get 1 free.
At Dynovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
Cryptocurrencies are successful because of good technology. The liberty-loving voluntarists who founded Zencash in 2017 took the best tech, like zero-knowledge anonymity and decentralized autonomous organizations, and are creating a secure platform for money, messages, and media that can be sent to anyone, anywhere in the world. Zencash is a cryptocurrency dedicated to peace, anonymity, and decentralization. Find out more at zencash.com. That's zencash.com.
Warning. If you're drowning in debt you can't afford, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to pay it all back, because you don't. What the credit card companies don't want you to know is that there's actually a way to get debt-free without paying off your entire debt or going bankrupt. If you have $5,000 or more in credit card debt, you now have the right to let us settle that debt for a fraction of what you owe. For free information, call Credit Associates now. 1-800-959-5759. We'll even show you how much money you could save. If you can't afford to pay off all your debt, do not let the credit card companies trick you into thinking that you have to. Call Credit Associates now for free information on how to get debt-free faster than you ever thought possible without debt consolidation or bankruptcy. We depend on your success and offer a guarantee, so there's no risk. For free information, call now. 1-800-959-5759. That's 1-800-959-5759. 1-800-959-5759.
The American Psychiatric Association has issued an alarming study warning that the nation's used car salesmen are going completely insane, and in some extreme cases, practically giving cars away. The APA traces the outbreak of widespread hysteria to an apparent overstock of high-quality late-model cars begging to be driven off the lot today. Some severe symptoms include delusions, manic exuberance, and a psychotic commitment to offer the lowest prices guaranteed. Victims' families are joining together to raise awareness of this serious psychological epidemic.
The authorities found out how unbelievably low his prices were. They'd lock up and throw away the key.
You are not alone. Over half of America's used car salesmen are currently going bonkers.
Car dealers suffering from this condition are prone to project their own disorders onto others. According to Mad Max, the Car Czar's website, you're out of your mind if you're not taking advantage of these low, low prices.
This is the Onion News Network.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that tenth of a calorie it takes to click on something. Facebook.freetalklive.com. Radio is the most personal of mediums. I exist right now in your head. If you listen to Free Talk Live regularly, you know me. Free Talk Live is on more than 160 radio stations around the U.S. and has been downloaded on every continent around the world. Hundreds of thousands of listeners with ad packages from $600 a month to $6,000 a month. Imagine what we can do for your business, project, website, or idea. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
Free Talk Live. Moments remain here. Maybe enough time for you if you get on the line right now at 8:55, 450 free like freedom. Joining you in the studio tonight, it's Ian.
And Mark.
Don't forget, you can go to freetalklive.com. You can interact with other Free Talk Live listeners on our forum over at forum.freetalklive.com. It is a way to post messages on threads and easily be able to search, unlike some websites that make it very difficult for you to search, like Facebook. So check it out over at forum.freetalklive.com. We go back to Ron. He's in Myrtle Beach. He's saying, what good is the UN? Why bother? I agree, Ron. The United States should probably not be involved in the UN. And we need to actually see even further decentralization. Let me ask you this. What good is the United States? Shouldn't we just go ahead and abolish that too while we're at it and get 50 different states?
No, I think we should run it ourselves and let the president run it. But why do you have to go through the UN? They don't do anything. You condemn it. You don't condemn it. What's the point?
Well, okay.
They don't do anything.
Well, I mean, they have meetings and stuff, and they send peacekeepers into places that rape children. So, I mean, they do some things, but they're not really good things.
Well, they used to deliver care packages. That was the best thing they ever did. That was it.
I'm sure you can find a few. I mean, the UN Bill of Rights thing has some okay things in it, but anyway, yeah, I agree with you. Generally, I agree the idea that countries forming a one-world government, which you could argue that the UN is a step towards that, is not a good idea. But why, if indeed keeping out of these large organizations is a good idea, then shouldn't it also follow that states should secede from the United States? How do you feel about secession?
No, I don't. I don't agree with that at all.
Why?
I'm sorry.
Why not?
Well, I think we have to stay together.
Why?
To make a more perfect union. I just believe we do.
Do you think the union's getting more perfect or less perfect over time?
Well, I think with Trump, it's getting more perfect, personally.
But, I mean, so you're looking at the arc of history and you're saying that Trump is making things more perfect?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
When they stop touching my junk in the airport line, then we can start talking. Until then, I don't want to hear about it.
All right. Well, I'm just saying, I think he's making a more safe world. Let's put it that way.
Well, what if I don't want safety? What if I want freedom? Can I choose freedom instead?
Well, you can choose freedom, but if you don't you want to be safe too?
No, I'd rather take my chances.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, then if something happens to you, who cares, right?
That's right. You wouldn't care.
Believe me, the United States federal government doesn't give a flying flip at a rolling donut what happens to you.
Yeah, I don't expect them to protect me.
They don't care.
I don't expect them to protect me at all. So would you go ahead and start killing the people of New Hampshire if we decided to secede from the United States? Would you support...
No, not at all. I believe in freedom. No, not at all.
Okay. All right, so you yourself don't support secession, but you would let other people go ahead and secede their states out of the Union without using the military against them?
No, I don't think they should secede, really.
Well, now, wait a minute. Now, there's a difference between your opinion about whether or not they should secede and whether or not you're willing to use force to keep them in the Union. So if New Hampshire or Texas or some other state or California decides, you know what, we've had enough of this union, it's a big cost and no real benefit, so we're just going to go ahead and leave it now, bye-bye, what would your response to that be?
Well, my response would be, I don't care, and if you're liberal, good riddance.
Okay, but what if it's a conservatives like the Texans? What if they say they want to go? They're tired of the United States. They were a free country once.
I would them out of it. I think we need the Texans, I believe.
So you want to talk them out of it? So you're going to talk them out of it. You're not going to use the military. You're not going to roll in tanks. You're not going to drop bombs on them.
No, I wouldn't do that.
Okay, that's good to know. Thanks for the call tonight, Ron. I appreciate it. The toll-free number, 855-450-FREE. Interesting, though, that he has he can see that the UN's a bad idea, but he thinks the same concept for the United States, which is basically the same idea, a group of states, which were nations in the beginning.
Even if all the counties in the United States broke off into their own little governments, you'd still see coalitions and larger forms of, larger governing bodies.
Yeah, we might not have 50 states. You might have 25 different bodies. Some states might join together with each other for a regional government or something like that.
I believe that people should be able to come together in their own organizations if that's what they want to do. But honestly, you're not going to have freedom until you can choose between governments in a given geographic area, because governments right now are tied to land mass. And that needs to end. It used to be that religion was, you had to be, if you lived in a certain spot, you had to be a certain religion. Well, not anymore. Now you can pick between them. You can switch back and forth. Pretty soon, at some point, you're going to be able to switch back and forth between governing bodies the same way you do auto insurance, if you want.
I hope so. Let's go to Rita. She's in Bloomington, Delaware, listening to WILM. Hello, Rita.
Yes, hi.
Hey,
I wanted to call to clarify something that you said. You said that Adam Warmbier
Otto
took down Otto took down a poster in North Korea.
I heard it was some kind of banner. But yeah, go ahead.
Right. But I wanted to clarify that footage of the person taking it down was very grainy. And I wouldn't put it past the North Koreans to have set an American up for imprisonment.
I didn't even know there was footage. That's the first I'd heard that there was any footage of that happening. But yeah, I mean, certainly you can't trust.
There's footage, and it's very grainy.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't put it past the North Koreans to stage that.
Well,
and
I
convict him, just to convict an American.
Well,
but he wasn't there alone.
Okay, so they give tours to Americans all the time. Otto's basically the first white American that they've gone after.
In a long time.
Yeah, the other people that they've gone after have basically been Korean Americans and Chinese Americans that have gone there. Look, I'm just saying that their motives are different for those people. So they had to have some particular reason why they went after Otto,
as opposed to the other college students that he was there with.
There's Americans right now in North Korea if they wanted to go after him. So I'd have to say must have had some reason.
Maybe Otto or Adam, whatever his name was. Maybe he was Otto. Maybe he was on the immature side, and and so the North Koreans thought, well, this is a perfect candidate to nail, for this type of thing.
What is is it Occam's razor? The idea that something I'm sure I'm going to misstate it.
Occam's razor is a philosophical tool where you basically pick the easiest, most likely story.
Most likely, Otto was drunk. He's a college-age college
student.
They got
a lot of alcohol there.
He's hanging out in North Korea. Right. They're partying. He takes down a banner. I mean, that's really seems to be.
No, he didn't. I don't think he took the banner down.
Okay.
I don't think
well, thank you for the opinion.
I think the North Koreans set us up.
Right. Yeah, you've definitely expressed that, and I thank you for the call tonight, Rita. I appreciate hearing from you. That's just not what Occam's razor would suggest. It could be that she's right. It's possible. Is it probable?
Maybe they wanted him to be able to start their own North American space program. None of this stuff is particularly relevant. They made a claim. They had some level of evidence. He apologized for it. Whatever. It's a real shame what happened to the guy. And obviously, here in the West, we believe that the punishment should fit the crime.
But they don't actually do that in the West
unless we're talking about drug dealers, in which case, throw them in jail for
or
the rest
people
of
running websites now. They're coming after them, too. Jonathan in Indianapolis listening to WIBC. You're on the air. Go ahead.
How you guys doing tonight?
Hey, great. Go ahead.
Hey, I've been listening to you guys for a while now. You know, you guys are interesting, and, you know, I'm kind of starting to buy it. I consider myself a conservative, but I don't agree with some things that conservatives do believe in, and I just don't like being put inside a box.
Sure.
So I guess, so my question is, as far as corporation goes and banks and those big companies here, like, how do you guys think that they should be, or how they should operate? You know, like, should the government be involved? Should we have a lot of regulation or not?
So regulations are basically instituted by large companies in order to keep smaller companies from competing with them. I know it looks like we're using the government to stop the mega corporations from taking over.
We're helping the consumer.
But, I mean, in what world do the rich not use the power of the state? So the most likely, the easiest solution would be to remove the power of the state, and then the big corporations can't use it against you.
Right.
I think that in a world where you have a smaller government, that you won't have, because big loves big. So big government loves big corporations, and big corporations love other big corporations and other big governments, because they all speak the same language.
Guess what? The government are corporations too.
Well, that much is true. They're incorporated.
Municipal corporations.
So if you remove the power from the situation, then I believe you will find more competition from smaller organizations who will then be able to knock those corporations down a few pegs. You know, it's a theory, but I can tell you this. We've never been allowed to try. And the idea here in America was that we were allowed to be an experiment. We were allowed to see. But government's become so pervasive that you can't even experiment.
It's very hard to open a business as an individual or small company because all the regulations get in the way and they just stop innovation. They stop people from creating new products and services. Jonathan, I wish we had more time for you, but call another night, any night earlier on, and we can talk more. I appreciate hearing from you. We'll see you tomorrow online in the meantime at freetalklive.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you got to keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadadi.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com.
This Your Family Today tip is brought to you by Nestle Pure Life Water, helping you drink better and live better by providing a zero-calorie alternative to sugary drinks. Visit us at nestle-purelife.us. When kids are playing, they often don't want to stop to keep hydrated, so send them out with a bottle of water and encourage them to take frequent drink breaks, or call them inside for a quick sip. For more tips like these, visit us at parenthood.com/yourfamilytoday.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
Questioning Authority is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Saturday, April 14th, 2018. Silver is trading at $16.66 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,345 per